박윤철 선수는 이미 좀 희망하는 조가 분명하신 것 같습니다.
계속 좀 고민이 되고 있어요. 누굴 뽑아야 될지.
아직도 이 산해진미가 좀 많이 남았다라는 그런 평가들이 좀 있고 개인적으로 뭐 좋아하는 요리가 있다면 어떤 요리 좋아하세요?
저는 묵사발이 제일
아,
수철이가 뭐 일주일 전부터 빌드 깎아놨다 그랬는데 저는 24강 통과한 날 이미 빌드를 그때부터 깎았습니다. B를 원하고 있습니다.
김태형 선수 뽑으려고 거의 한 90% 확신하고 왔어요.
근데
같이 하고 싶어 하는 것 같길래 여기 와서 한 번 더 물어봤어요. 오케이라고 하길래 그러면은 됐다 했어요.
자, 그럼 이어서 B그룹으로 넘어가 보도록 하겠습니다.
둘 중에 하나를 선택하려고 하고
누구?
있는데 일장 선수, 조기석 선수를
기석이 형은 무조건 데려올 거예요.
이야, 확정이 확정.
기석이 형이 이제 저희 조에 오면은 그때는 이제 용호 형을 이렇게 다른 데 보낼 수 있겠죠.
아 근데 그러면은 이제 제가 조기석을 뽑을 수밖에 없잖아요.
아니죠. 지금 최악의 경우가 나올 수 있는 게 철이 형이 이게 16강에 올라온 걸로 만족하는지 자꾸 용호 형 뽑겠다고 그러고 있어요. 그러면은 용호 형이 그 조에 갈 수도 있어요.
바뀔 것까지 머릿속으로 생각하면
네.
사실 복잡합니다. 자신이 원하는 대로 조기석.
야, 이거 데려왔어요.
아 조기석을
오,
어차피 바뀌더라도.
야,
저는 진무경 선택이 너무 좋았던 것 같아요. 왜냐면 우승자 권한을 마음 넣게 해주지 않았기 때문에 그게 좋았던 것 같아요.
자, 그럼 이제 그룹 B조로 가보도록 하겠습니다.
두 선수가 계속 정윤종 뽑아달라고 그러는 거예요.
정윤종?
솔직히 진무경한테는 죄송하지만 장훈철한테 당한 게 많거든요. 이영호 선수가 와야 된다고 생각하거든요.
이 두 아빠의 표정은
아빠의 표정은 지금 여기서
굳어갑니다.
아니, 이 양반이 근데 눈을 안 마주쳐요 계속.
해줘.
저 지금 너무 슬퍼요.
네.
내 동생, 제 동생 호영호제입니다.
오영
아 그래?
우리 기석이.
만약 용호 형을 뽑으면은 그대로 용호 형이랑 하시는 거예요.
네네네. 하면 되죠.
용호 형이랑 그냥 하신다고요?
네.
오,
아들을 생각해서 다시 한번 생각해.
아 진짜 안
가족을 생각하는
괜찮습니다.
한이에요.
괜찮습니다.
아 진짜 이게 진심이라는 거죠?
네.
본인 생각대로 하겠다는
이거
거예요.
진짜 역대급입니다. 이재호,
진짜 영호.
아야 와,
정윤종!
야,
정윤종!
아,
정윤종!
바꿨어.
바뀌었습니다.
바꿨어.
그래도 친하게 지냈던 형이랑 동생 이제 한번 살려줬습니다.
아, 사탄 들렸나? 왜 그래? 갑자기 뭐 돌이랑 얘기하는 것처럼 대화가 안 통하는 거예요. 갑자기 몰래 카메라였던 것 같아요.
네,
예.
극적인. 네.
일단 뭐 왔으니까 어쩔 수 없고 일장이 형이 제가 봤을 때 근데 D조로 가서 테란전만 준비했으면 좋겠어요. 여기로 오지 않고.
D그룹까지 선택이 모두 끝났고 박상현 선수 손에 지금 들어있는 상황인데요. 박상현 선수는 뭐 벌써 지금 계산 다 끝났습니까?
네, 마음 정했습니다.
계획대로
똑같이 이야기 한 대로 하네 박상현
이야기 한
선수는요.
대로.
조일장 선수가 지금 B그룹으로 가게 됐습니다.
조일장 선수 입장에서는 꽤 괜찮은 곳이죠, 비조가.
네, 그렇죠.
What is up, everybody? It is packed here tonight. Welcome to Group B in the ASL round of 16. This is season 21. It's been an insane season so far. And I think, Tastosis, it's just gonna get crazier.
It certainly is, especially with this group and the next group coming up. Just some ridiculously awesome games coming. Day one was insane. Like that day, think about the games that we had, Tasteless. Like we had insane all-ins, crazy comebacks. We had a game where Cloaked Wraiths end up beating DTs. Like you don't really get days like that often, but it feels like that's what this season is. Just crazy upsets and amazing games.
Yeah, I mean, the games have been wild. Obviously, we've got Flash back, although he's not playing today. He will be playing next week. Group C, a lot of hype behind it. But honestly, Group B here today, there's a lot to be excited for. I mean, we've got three insane players and Oregon. And look, we'll see what Oregon can do. I mean, let's not forget, Tulbo actually advanced from this group. We had a ton of upsets, crazy upsets in the round of 24. So you got to always be ready to have some kind of new narrative, some kind of new twist in the story here. But the players that are also in this group, Snow and Rain, two of possibly, well, we know the greatest Protosses of all time, possibly the strongest Protosses even in this season of ASL, and Hero, who has been one of the strongest ASL players of all time, one of the greatest Zergs that has ever touched the game. Should be some very interesting matches here tonight.
Yeah, Hero for the first I don't know, 15, 16, 17 ASL seasons, was the most consistent player in the world, round of 4 more than half the time. But he did start to slump a little bit like a season or two ago, where he had some really terrible games, wasn't looking so strong. So I don't have as much faith. Normally, like if this was a few seasons ago, I'd be like, well, Hero's going to easy his way out of this group. But as is, I'm not as sure anymore. You know, like Snow has gotten very good at Protoss vs. Zerg, and Rain, in my opinion, what I always bill him as, he's the most talented Protoss ever. Like, even though he doesn't play as much, the guy could just get to the top 4 in any given season.
He's extremely strong. I also think if you're someone trying to learn the game, maybe you played a long time ago, or you're switching from StarCraft 2 and getting into StarCraft 1. If you're playing Protoss, I actually think this is by far the best player to study. I think he's got a very straightforward approach. His builds are very solid and like very well-rounded. It's kind of the opposite of Mini, as an example, where he's like super abusive and super cheesy and has crazy range, but the execution's extremely difficult. Let's not forget that Snow last year had a really bad run in PvZ. Like, the way that he went out was tragic, right? And it was actually the source of a lot of criticism, including from Flash himself. A lot of people kind of saying he plays like the computer, his placement's really bad, it's not very optimized. You got to remember that Snow's had a lot of success heavily off of... Oh, hold on. We're going to go to an interview. I'll talk more about that in a second.
Hello and welcome to Group B of the round of 16 here at ASL Season 21, done in partnership with Google Play. Yesterday's opening group of the round of 16 saw fierce competition, and at the end of a 4-hour fight, it was defending champion Soma and Tier 4 Firestarter Tolbo making it through to the quarterfinals. Those matches reinforce the idea that you should never say never. What awaits us today? Let's have a word with our players ahead of Group B and find out. Hello. Hello. First up, seeded player Snow. I have a feeling that group selection ceremony was one of confusion for you personally. In the midst of all the hectic picks and decisions, Group B ended up being formed the way it formed as the selection process came to an end, but then Sharp was gone, replaced by Hero. I'm curious how satisfied you are with Group B right now. All these guys are really good. On second thought, I actually regret this. I should have just told Sharp to pick Flash and make this a 3-Terran group. These 3 are also good. I'm scared. I bet that it wasn't an easy process having to prepare for all 3 matchups. But still, who could ever imagine Snow losing in the round of 16? With you having made the round of 8 and the semi-finals quite a number of times, I bet in your heart you will still be feeling confident today regardless. I'm always confident, but I lost so much during practice. What a rut. Which race did you end up losing so much to as you were practicing? Of all the races it had to be Terran, it's scary. And your first opponent today is Organ, the only Terran in this group. Let's talk to him as well. Hi. Hi. You're back in the round of 16 after a long 7 years. Yesterday's games were so impressive that there is no way you didn't watch them. What can you tell us about yesterday's matches? What is your review? I'm actually quite close with Tolbo, so I tuned in to cheer him on. You remember that DT got stuck at the end in the second match? I actually started throwing obscenities. I swore out loud. He lost that and then won again. It was very entertaining to watch. I actually did think that this was doable for Tolbo to advance. He has weight to him as a player. And I do not mean physically in this case, more like game-wise. He's alright. I knew he had it in him, so I was happy whenever he made it through. You're coming off as particularly carefree today during this interview, Organ, and coincidentally, it was actually Tolbo's seat you were warming up in. Are you feeling energized? It's a good feeling I'm getting. During the round of 24, I warmed up in Calm's seat, you know, and I managed to beat that bad energy. Today I'm in Tolbo's seat and all that good energy is spreading. I'll take it and I came here with a mind to enjoy playing on stage again. There's one more thing I'm dying to ask. Snow said that his win rate against Terran in practice wasn't good, and that's getting him a little worried. How did practice against Protoss go for you, Organ? What's happening here is Snow is cosplaying. Oh, cosplaying as a weak player. That's right, he is pretending. Because I know that he will have practiced against some of the strongest Terrans like Flash. So he's clearly faking. Now, I played with Mini and Noob, and oh, things won't be easy. Looks like both players are very wary of one another going into this first match. Let's also talk to the players from the second match. Hello, Hero. Hello. Just as you expected, you end up being moved to Group B. How do you feel about this group? Are you satisfied? For starters, I only had to practice against Toss and Terran, which made things comfortable. So I feel somewhat confident today. Hero is confident. This confidence is justified. You're basically a full-time government employee in the round of 8. That's how many times you've advanced to the quarterfinals. However, with the last 2 seasons in mind, getting eliminated in the round of 16 and the round of 24 was very unlike you. I think you might need to address your fans, half of whom will be excited and half of whom will be worried. Last season I was upset with my own performance that made me get knocked out. Afterwards, I once again got a grip. I think you can look forward to my performance this season. Got it. And awaiting his turn with his head hung low and a serious countenance. Rain, hello. Hello. Now, it's not just in the ASL that the fans have not had a chance to see your face in a while. What's new with you? After the group selection ceremony, how has practice been going for Group B? I did some practice in secret, and I have come prepared with a punch to take down Hero. Honestly, you were the first person to show up at the studio today. When asked about why you showed up so early, you responded with just 2 words. I'm serious. How serious do you have to be, Rain, to so confidently proclaim that? I am so looking forward to your games today. How serious are you? Just watch my games. Oh. No, honestly, I just live not far from here. The streets were empty. In all seriousness, though, you are a player whose mere appearance in a tournament awakens great performance. Let's hope we see that today as well. There's a few interesting points to discuss in Group B. Rain, Hero, Snow, if we just add up these 3 guys' grand final appearances, it's a total of 7 times. That's how distinguished these guys' careers are. I'd like to hear what you guys think of one another. Snow, out of these 2, who do you think is the stronger player? They're both really good. But honestly, going to the finals doesn't mean anything. Still, Rain does have a championship, so I'll say Rain. Hearing this talk of winning a championship must be rubbing Hero the wrong way. Hero, what are your thoughts? Snow is right. And it is only Rain who has a championship here, so I think he is the best. Oh, Rain is getting praised by the 2 as the best player here as he is fully serious. Rain, how would you rate Snow and Hero? They're both really good. I think Hero is doing particularly well nowadays. So I do kind of want to knock him down a notch. I don't know. We'll have to play and see. Organ, I think the question I just asked must have made you quite uncomfortable. Being in the position of a Tier 4 player and faced with the prospect of having to cause a din. Now, you have been analyzing these players for a long time as a commentator as well. Is there a player here that you can say, well, he's been to the finals, but he is somebody I can try and take down today? As a commentator? No, as a player. Oh, you mean from my perspective? Yes. From my perspective, this guy is the best. Snow is the best. Okay, but a player you can take down? I don't really know about that. You know, I've not played a best of 3 against Zerg here in this studio. So I do kind of want to play against Hero, but will I? The best thing for me would be if Rain beat Hero.
역시 해설자의
That's
커리어를
exactly the way you would phrase this answer, seeing you have experience as a commentator. I think you've come here with an extremely detailed plan of how things will pan out. This will be a very exciting Group B. Let's close things out with our 4 players' final remarks. Organ. I'll do what I did last time because I don't think I'll get to do a winner's interview. I'd like to thank Mini and Noob, as well as Saxry, Sue, Action, for helping me practice. I'll do my best to show what we practiced. And our DM crew who came down here to cheer for me. And my wife came here as well. Of all the days, seriously, why today? It'll be a difficult day. Still, I will try and enjoy playing here and give the viewers a dopamine rush. Thank you. Can't wait. Snow? Today truly seems like it will be a tough day. I'll work hard and advance. Good. Hero? I prepared diligently for today. I'll show you entertaining games. Got it. And lastly, Rain. I had fun watching yesterday's games. I hope today is just as entertaining. Can't wait for some cool games. Thanks for the interview. Thank you. You're watching Group B of the round of 16 here at ASL Season 21, done in partnership with Google Play. Which 2 players will move on to the round of 8 today? Let's start the matches and find out.
Let's go. It's time, Marty.
Yes.
Snow, Organ, Hero, and Rain. I'm so pumped for this.
It's going to be a fun group. I'm actually especially excited about a potential Rain versus Snow match. I'm normally not excited about Protoss versus Protoss, but that's a great one. And I'm very, very excited to see Hero versus Rain, because I think Rain has ridiculously strong Protoss versus Zerg. He's really, really smart at the matchup. But Hero's Zerg versus Protoss sometimes looks like the best in the world. So I think that's just going to be a great best of 1 there.
It's going to be a fun night here. Remember, everybody, we've got 2 best of 1s, and then it switches into best of 3s.
Yeah.
For the rest of the evening here. Snow, you know, returning after, you know, I don't want to say like a bad loss. He's actually performed really well. I think he's improved a ton, but I guess a loss that was received pretty critically from the rest of the pro scene. You know, people saying that this was a guy, and I was kind of getting into this before the interview came here, but you know, a lot of players saying, you know, he's not quite as optimized as like a Mini or a Bisu. You know, he's got great Reaver control, but a lot of his play is a little bit too straightforward, especially in PvZ. And, you know, PvZ is a very different matchup than PvT here. But, you know, this season's going to be an important one for him. Now, he's going up against Organ, and I think this is extremely doable here for Snow. Like, this should be maybe one of the most obvious who's going to win it matchups in all of the ASL for this season, right? Yeah. Snow is the greatest PvTer of all time. Organ, it was a bit of a shock he got this far. I'm super happy for him. I'm really excited, and I hope he can perform well here today, but this is going to be a tough one for him.
Stylistically, this is like the worst matchup Organ could really get. It's kind of like what I was saying with Leda and Best, but then Leda turned it on its head, you know? Like, that was shocking to me, but here it's the same type of thing. It's like Organ uses mind games, tricks, clever build orders, and mostly just rushes. But Snow's got the best micro that there is, basically, right? Like, if he gets a Reaver and Shuttle out, the odds of you breaking him are exceedingly low. So it seems hard for me to figure out a build that Organ could use here against Snow.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. You know, the thing about Snow is that whether he uses Reavers or not, he's always able to basically bend the Terran. He just seems to understand the ebb and flow of the entire matchup, what he can get away with, when he needs to really lock in and stop making probes to deal with pushes. And it doesn't seem like Snow has any clear weakness. And then the fact that he's got the greatest Reaver control by far, like above and beyond anybody, there's not even really a close second here. Makes him a player that can just abuse and exploit the weaknesses that Terran have in a way that is, I don't know. I don't know that the Terrans have really figured out a way to take him on yet. I mean, this guy has been so disproportionately strong in the matchup. I don't know if we're going to see people kind of map out how to beat him for years to come. Yeah. So this is going to be a tough one. It is a best of 1, of course, so maybe Oregon can pull off some kind of build or win. Let's find out. All right, we've got Oregon in the top right and Snow in the bottom right.
Well, I've been thinking about this match a little bit, and like, I think in general, people shouldn't play a safe, careful game in tournament games. It's like you should play to win, not to lose. But with Snow, I actually feel kind of the opposite. Like you should just play not to lose here. Make sure that he's not skipping things. Make sure it's not Nexus first. Like nothing that can be really quickly and savagely abused, right? Like even if it requires a little bit of luck on Oregon's side, because Oregon's gonna like line things up to try to make something work for him. And it looks like this will probably be a 4-gate Zealot opener. So wants to put some pressure on right away here against Piano. Not
a particularly
bad. Yeah. What? Go ahead.
No, not bad at all. This is a particularly popular build right now. A lot of these Zealot pressure builds have, proven to be pretty strong. It does kind of mute any risky openers Terrans are going to try to play. It forces them into a pretty honest game here. Someone might look at this, if you just showed up here and think this is like a PVZ initially, seeing that the gateway's out here. But the idea is basically you can immediately send Zealots. And by the way, the travel distance between the low ground here at the natural and just at your ramp, you'd be surprised that little extra, 3 seconds, 5 seconds that you get to hit them can interrupt a lot of stuff that Terran has. The gateway also operates as part of the wall in here. But yeah, this stops any sneaky play, any greedy play from Terran, and it kind of levels the playing field out a little bit.
Yeah, it's like I actually don't. Okay, so like as a Terran player, I like it when people open like this, just because it's like, well, you can't be too greedy if you're making a Zealot, right? And like, it definitely catches Terran if Terran's trying to be greedy. But I feel like after like A rank or something, the Zealot normally doesn't do anything unless you happen to catch something like a gasless expansion. If it's a factory expansion, it's pretty rare for people to take like any real damage. But as long as the Protoss makes the decisions correctly, I think you're completely fine, right? It's when they start throwing away the Zealot. Like if they really try to get the damage and then they don't, then it's like, well, a counterattack might come. You might be in trouble now.
Yeah, well, I think a couple ideas here to kind of go off what you said. I don't think this is necessarily the easiest build for Protoss to pull off, but I think for Snow, it simplifies the game enough. And, it might be a little bit of a more challenging early game, but I think for him, that's still going to be extremely easy, right?
Yeah.
So I think the idea is like, you're negating any greedy, weird builds. You're going to force the Terran to behave a certain way. When I came back, this was like years ago, but after I had gotten over my injury in my hand, I tried this style out, and I didn't like it either. I was kind of like you, Tastosis. I kind of felt like it falls off when you get against really good players. It's hard to really create an opportunity. Like, I'd prefer to go Nexus first or do something else. But I think some of this is just about kind of managing and controlling the Terran here.
For sure. I actually like the way you put it there, to just pull a little bit further on that. And by the way, Oregon's opening perfectly here. Like, this is exactly how you block it. 100% zero damage. He should go back and build the bunker now, though. Like, you don't want to chase that far. The second SCV, as soon as you push him back, you should start your bunker, because there's always a second Dragoon on the way. He's actually he Snow's way outplaying him right now. Like, I actually am getting nervous for him now.
Yeah, I was gonna say he let the Dragoon tank exactly the right amount of shots so that then the Zealot could come in and gain ground. And I mean, dude, this is looking a little rough here. He's gonna take out everything. And, he's going to get the SCV kill. He can actually dive on the Marine. 2 Dragoons will 2-shot a Marine. The problem now, by the way, is that even if the bunker finishes, the Dragoons can just run up and shoot the Marine.
This is, like, kind of sad, because he opened perfectly. Like, the 5th Marine, the 2 SCVs coming down, the Vulture. The thing is, you have to start the bunker as soon as you push everything back. Like, you don't have a window there to micro and be fancy, and he just didn't do that. It's too bad, because he's so far behind now. This is the type of position where I have never seen Snow lose from here. He's too strong.
I think this...
Yeah.
No, I mean, this is pretty bad, dude. Like, in fact, this game could just end here. If he gets the command center, which, like, I think is completely possible. By the way, it's crazy. He knows to target the bunker now and just get even further ahead here instead of just diving on the command center. He forces a cancel. I would say this game is lost now.
It's lost.
I know that might be, like, people might not like it when we talk like that. I think sometimes people want us to hype up some games more than others, but this is very, very losing. Like, losing the command center. The fact that it's being restarted now, Protoss is going up to 2 more gateways because you basically just do a simple 3-gate robo play from here. I don't know when Terran's going to get on the low ground. And, you know, you were saying a little bit ago, Tastosis, he was playing perfectly. He was. He just, like, chased the Dragoons too far and didn't start the bunker.
Yeah. What
And
was that back and forth? What does he think he's going to accomplish with that? Snow has, like, some of the best micro in the world. Like, he's not going to screw up and not pull the Dragoon and Zealot back.
And when you look at it, it's one of these moments where, you know, I guess we got to go back to the original build, right? It was a very straightforward kind of in-your-face build. If a Terran plays perfectly, you get through it and you're in an okay position, but that's not what happened. You know, Snow, a lot of it came down to him letting the Dragoon soak up enough of the shots, softening the Marines up just enough, and waiting for that second Dragoon, and then having the Zealot charge in. And the Zealot, if it gets just a couple hits on the Marines, everything is so brittle.
Yeah.
Back at home. It's funny because Marines, it takes 4 hits for a Dragoon to kill it, 3 hits from a Zealot. Vultures, it takes 6 shots from a Dragoon to kill it. So there's a period where when you have a small number of Dragoons versus like Marine Vulture, it's kind of hard to fight. But once a couple shots have been there, suddenly everything starts dying. And the Dragoons have a decent amount of HP, right? And then things really fall apart. So, you know, right now we're seeing a big counter push come up here. And I don't know what else Oregon can do. But I think, yeah, Snow kind of knows exactly what sort of game this is. He's just going to literally pull his probes here because even if he loses a bunch of workers here, he'll just go back and remake it. So this is going to be game GG.
Yeah.
Basically a perfect game from Snow. That last attack doesn't really matter as much as when the bunker was denied, the Marines and SCVs and Vultures were killed, and you basically saw, you know, what turned into a kind of a standard mainline opening for Terran suddenly backfire, and he had to recede back into his base, losing the command center. GG.
Yeah, you actually said it well there. It was basically a perfect game from Snow. I had someone ask me recently if perfect games get played, and the answer is no, not really, but like that was basically perfect from Snow. Like Oregon made a misstep, he got insane damage against him, pulled back exactly right, went into exactly the right build, pulled the probes. Just, he closed the door on anything Oregon could do. All right, quick commercial break. When we come back, Hero versus Rain.
drop names, drop the weight, clean slate, I'm insane. It's giving insanity on a melody, more flow than a manatee. Levels that I reach, man, I defy gravity. Heart so strong like it runs in the family. I've got the haters out of breath. Ain't talking about then and when I got them distressed. Giving palpitation when I say it with my chest. Do the calculation, it's time to invest. Acquiesce that I am the empress. Going so sick, someone call the vet. I just can't be tamed, that I'm the Loch Ness. So blessed, they can't comprehend. I turn a skeptic to believer. I am a leader, resurrected like it's Easter. If you step to me, you'll get the misdemeanor. They can't defeat her, they can't connect the reader. Can't decline, don't worry, I'll be fine. Cause all I see is ups in the line. Did I plan this? Is this by design? Come reflect, my light can't be denied. Come correct, cause this moment is mine. It's mine. Tell me you're feeling up. Tell me you're feeling up. Do it like nobody does. Sipping that haterade, right to the finish line. Tell me you're feeling up. Tell me you're feeling up. Do it like nobody does. Sipping that haterade, right to the finish line. I got the haters out of breath. Ain't talking about then and when I got them distressed. Giving palpitation when I say it with my chest. Do the calculation.
Cause I do what I wanna. It ain't that complicated. I just wanna be exhilarated. Got that get up and go, go, go to places no one knows. Huh. Deep in the dead of night, my spirit is alight. A golden arrow in my bow. Yeah, I'm the star of my own show. And everybody go right, I go left. And everybody go left, I go right. And everybody go up, I go down, 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 down. Cause I do what I wanna. Can't stop me 'cause I'm gonna. No one can tell me how. Yeah, I do what I wanna. Won't stop me 'cause I'm gonna. No one can tell me. 'Cause I do what I wanna. Yeah, I do what I wanna. 'Cause I do what I Cause I do what I wanna. Can't stop me 'cause I'm gonna. Yeah, I do what I wanna. Won't stop me 'cause I'm gonna. Cause I do what I wanna. Can't stop me 'cause I'm gonna. No one can tell me how. Yeah, I do what I wanna. Won't stop me 'cause I'm gonna.
Welcome back, everybody. I was thinking a little bit about that last game we saw, and maybe we don't get to talk about this that often, just because of the nature of the StarCraft games we cast and kind of the pacing of the game itself. But like, there are a lot of times kind of the perfect way to do everything in the game, and you saw that in the engagement from Snow. He knew exactly which unit needed to take damage, how far he could draw the Terran back out, and then when he needed to close in, and where he had to have the Zealot and the Dragoon and everything else hit. And literally, like, every single Dragoon shot was perfect. I think even the Zealot hits were basically perfect. And you saw what basically on paper was like a an even matchup, 5-5. It wasn't like a 6-4. It wasn't like one side has it a little bit harder. He came through and crushed through so hard that the game basically ended in 2 minutes, and the Terran was forced to do an all-in because it wouldn't even make sense to use his stamina and time in the game to try to macro from there.
Yes, well said. And as far as Oregon goes, his build order was perfect. He had exactly the right units. He brought exactly the right units down the ramp. The 2 SCVs, one builds the command center, one builds the bunker. He pushed back the very first time he pushed everything back was perfect. But that's when you have to make the bunker. And it's as simple as that. It's like there was an error in like his decision making basically. And I'm sure he's kicking himself because there's no way he doesn't know that. Like I have exactly that opener in so many games every day on the ladder. Like Protosses are always doing that build and you have to build that bunker or you die. So unfortunate for Oregon. I think he doesn't have too much of a shot getting out of this group today, but we're going to go into Hero versus Rain. And this is going to be a great match, man. Like Hero has been one of the most consistent Zergs. Look at that. 5 round of 4s and 2 second places. That's insane. Like that is some crazy stats there.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, I mean, Hero has been a real force. A lot of times when I watch this guy play, I think, God, there's no way to stop that. Like, he's just so good. But I think this match is going to be fun, and I do think this is one that Rain can take. The problem is Hero's not really weak versus anybody. I don't know what kind of condition Rain's in. It doesn't seem like he needs to be very active. There is this, I think, false narrative that some people have that the guys who are like able to perform at the best in the world have played like every day for 14 hours and that's all they're doing. I believe it or not, it's not true. I would have thought that's the case. Moving to Korea and just meeting the huge variety of players and the different ways they practice and how they spend their time. Yeah, some people don't need to play as much as others. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
true.
no, yeah, go ahead.
No, just Rain's one of these guys that has basically managed to occasionally stream other games for months at a time and then come back and be in incredible condition.
Yeah, he never misses ASL, that's for sure. Like if he wants to be in it. Sometimes he doesn't play the qualifiers, but like every time he tries to qualify, he just gets right in right away. Like I've been calling him for many years like the most talented Protoss like ever. And I really truly think that that's the case. Well, hold on. We'll start this game and I want to go a little bit more in depth than that, but gonna be Polestar here. Hero versus Rain.
Okay, both players on the left side of the map here. Hero in the top and Rain. Sorry, Hero in the bottom actually, and Rain in the top.
When you said Hero in the top, I saw the Overlord going north. I'm like, why would he do that?
No,
yeah.
He's going to the very corner.
So just like watching Rain's play, I've always felt like, damn, he's just so talented. It's crazy. Like there's like a certain way that players that are really talented play where like everything seems so intuitive to them and they don't follow what other players are doing. But then I thought back and like, first off, there was, okay, so he came to StarCraft 2 and when Kespa switched over to StarCraft 2, we were asking the coaches and stuff like, oh, who's the guy that's going to do it in StarCraft 2? And everyone said Sulky. But it was actually Sulky and Rain that came over and were like super dominant, like really quickly, right? And he was making Star Leagues right at the very end of the StarCraft 1 era and everything. He was like an up and comer. And then like in StarCraft 2, he became the best Protoss ever at that point. He was the first person to win GSL not being on a Korean team. Like, he completely changed the way everyone was playing Protoss. Like, he had better micro than everyone, better macro. He played macro games when everyone was just rushing like MC still. And then he returned to StarCraft 1, instantly made ASL, won ASL, keeps retiring and playing other games, and just comes right back and like gets to a finals or something. And then there was a translation that Jinjin did where, if you guys don't know, Jinjin 5000 on YouTube, he does amazing translations of the pro scene. But where it was like, I forget what the stats were exactly, but it just reconfirmed everything. Rain became a pro gamer in like 3 months or something. Like something insane, way quicker than anyone else. The guy is just unbelievably talented. Unbelievably so.
Yeah. And, you know, when he was dominating in StarCraft 2, he switched back at StarCraft 1, and there were some people that were saying, like, oh, it's because he was, because he was dominating when he went back to StarCraft 1, and people were like, maybe it's because StarCraft 2 is harder, or, it's more competitive, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I think he's just that good. He also just kind of showed up to StarCraft 2 and did the same thing, but he's always been, like, a really scary player. So, you know, it's going to be fun to see how he plays this. But in this game, he is going for the gateway expand opening here. The hero is going, he went for overpull into a quick gas. So this does feel like it could be pretty aggressive here. He's going to get a block off up here and just basically try to buy a few extra seconds before that third hatchery can start.
Yeah, well, he gets that third hatchery started, and the probe pulling back keeps that probe up on full health. Hero's starting to mine that gas. What do you think he's going to do with that fast gas? Like, is this... Because that's, like, faster than a 3-hatch Hydra gas, isn't it? This has to be, like, Zergling speed or a layer rush?
So, I mean, you know, it can be a lot of different things, right? There's a lot of ways the game can go from here. I mean, what I would be doing is basically counting how many more... lings are popping out here, right? Because that's the easiest way to tell if it's going to be a ling all in, which I don't think it is, but you know, you would see more lings hatching. He sees drones hatching, and basically Rain is sitting here counting the number of workers spawning and deciding, can I put some pressure on with my zealots or not? We need to see, is it going to be a layer started? Will it actually be Zergling speed? And notice that Rain went for the core at the entrance, and it is going to be a Hydraless bust, by the way. So you know, that's the problem. You see the gas go down. You don't really know what they're doing yet, right?
Yeah.
So he throws that down. It's very ling short. Now, anytime you see them blocking here, you don't know if there's Hydras or not, right? Because they would never let you in the main to confirm that. But you know that he's trying to keep you out on some level. So he's going to send the first 2 Zealots down. And Rain's been pretty smart with his 1-gate Zealot play. It looks like he's going to send 2 different groups. So he's going to send the Zealots down here. And, you know, with 2 Zealots against this many lings, you can kind of like hit and run and make the game pretty difficult. And then he's going to have the other 2 Zealots come in over here from behind. But, you know, we need to get the Forge down here. We need to see what exactly, you know, is going to prompt Rain to know this is a Hydra Rush. Because right now you wouldn't be able to tell. And, you know, Hero's made a ton more lings. Ling speed is done, by the way. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, I've talked in previous casts that, like, a lot of times you look for ling speed at a certain time in the early game to confirm it's not Hydras, because if you go layer, you'll get ling speed with that. But this is not that. So this is kind of a hybrid cheese coming out here, where he has both the ling speed. Although I don't see any Hydras coming out here. So maybe he made the Hydra den and then realized that the Zealots are going to pressure and he doesn't want to commit. Let's see.
It feels like he doesn't have enough drones yet to do it, right? You want like 22 drones. There's no way that he has that. He has so many speedlings right now. I don't know. It looks like a really weird situation. All right, so he has like 5 over there, like 3 at the natural, and I think about 9 in the main plus 3 in the gas. So he's a couple of drones off of really getting the standard 3-hatch Hydra production going. But he has a lot of speedlings that can go along with this as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see Hydras hatching here.
No.
It seems like Rain basically put on the right amount of pressure. The Corsair is the final thing to check, right? If you don't know 100% it's not Hydras, you just send the Corsair across. So he's going to come over here, and the Hydras are going to hatch. So he's going to come here and immediately see there's no layer. There's a den right here, and that's basically when you sound the alarm, right? You know, in this moment, you're going to be hit really hard. It is, remember, there's no Forge at the wall end, right? So there's not the threat. You know, a lot of times in Hydra rushes, they do go for that Forge. So he can make cannons the whole time, but this is going to be rough. The Hydras are going to come up here. It's a Hydra rush that's actually happening a little bit later, but he hit it pretty well because the Zealots that were pushing out initially were supposed to try to spot for this. The Hydras are going to come up now. It's 4 Zealots. The Lings can basically come up here and tank. The Hydra is, you know, it's just in range of that cannon. I don't know that they can get that last one in the middle. I think that's maybe out of range, but it's hard to say, man. A lot more Lings and Hydras are going to come up here.
Oof.
Rain's going to hit the Overlord from behind if you look at the right side of the screen. And if he takes out that Overlord, maybe he can defend with a DT.
Looking a little bit rough right now for Rain. Only 1 cannon remains. Having a hard time getting it, but 1 Hydra is targeting it down right now. Another cannon's being made, but I don't think Rain can do much else. GG.
Wow.
Very quick rush here from Hero. Picks off Rain.
I mean, it was not your standard Hydra bust. I'll say that. Like, it was a extremely well-disguised Hydra timing. He basically went for the den. He saw the Zealot pressure. He just went for Ling speed. before making a single Hydra. It still looked like it was layer tech. And even though a bunch of Lings were forced out, a bunch of Zealots were given up, right? So when that was done, basically Hero was then able to disguise the attack again. And Rain just didn't quite have enough. He might have wanted to make the cannons even a hex back or more. Remember that you don't really need the core. Once the core is done, you're going to have a Citadel up. You can just remake it later. You're not trying to get Dragoon range. Anyways, guys, coming up next, Hero versus Snow. More PVZs. We'll be right back.
Up in the morning, I got that ooh la la, yeah, that ooh la la. And ring, 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 yeah, they all come calling for my ooh la la, yeah, that ooh la la. Soon as the sun comes up in the morning, I got that ooh la la, yeah, that ooh la la. And ring, 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 yeah, they all come calling for my ooh la la, yeah, that ooh la la. Soon as the sun comes up in the morning, I got that ooh la la, yeah, that ooh la la. And ring, 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 yeah, they all come calling for my ooh la la, yeah, that ooh la la.
Creeping in the shadows, there's a demon locked inside, hungry for some trouble. I got chaos on my mind. Can you keep a secret, baby? I'll wreck your life and drive you crazy. You can try to run, but you can't hide. I got a bad side. I got a bad side. I got a bad side.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for waiting. It's time to go into this next best of 3 now. No more best of 1s. More PvZ. Hopefully a little bit more of an interesting developed PvZ this time around. We saw that Rain, he tried to do a Zealot push to see what exactly was going on Hero's side of the map. And I got to say, you know, it might have looked like a really straightforward game where like Zealots attacked, Lings killed him, and then Hydras killed the Protoss. But Hero did an incredible job of hiding what he was trying to do.
Yeah, you really did. Like, Rain was very caught off guard, just did not have enough cannons in there. You know, I see a game like that, and I just think to myself, I don't ever want to play PvZ. Like, I don't want that to be part of my life, is trying to figure out, like, oh, what are you hiding here? Like, are you droning heavily behind these Lings? Are you going for a Hydra rush? It can be very, very hard to balance. So, Hero looking good with that kind of cheesy attack, and, you know, but... You know, 3-hatch Hydra, that's he executed it well, but it is kind of a simple build. Is he going to be in good enough shape to take out Snow, who's really in peak form right now?
Well, let's see. You know, Snow, I mean, he can die to Hydra bust like anybody else, but, you know, Snow did fall previous ASL due to, you know, poor base placement, really, I think not having a lot of great ideas for PvZ. I do think that PvZ for the Protoss, the early game is really hard, especially at the highest level. I think there's just a lot of unforgiving situations, a lot of moments where you really have to like look at something that's very complex and there's only one right answer on how to handle it. He's not as in your face as like a Bisu is. I think maybe why Bisu's always been the strongest at the early game in this matchup is he really knows how to twist the arm of the Zerg early game. But let's see what Snow does. Snow both Gateway expands and Forge expands. So, you know, and I don't think he'll do any kind of risky Nexus burst here, but we'll see.
Yeah. You know, actually, it's something I've noticed, like, I don't quite understand it because I'm not a Protoss player or a Zerg player, but, like, when I watch Bisu play, the difference I see in the way he moves his Zealots is always shocking to me. Like, it's something about... Because I know this type of thing from Terran, because there's like a certain way you can move Marines against Zerg, or a certain way you can move Vultures against Protoss, where it's like you're kind of obfuscating what you're really doing. You're making it like very hard to judge what to do, right? And I see him do that with Zealots a lot. Snow, on the other hand, like, yeah, I guess you were saying he's more straightforward in his play. It's like he'll just have great micro, and he'll basically know what he's trying to do, but it doesn't feel exactly the same.
Yeah, well, I think Snow pushes and wins, and Bisu harasses a lot and basically breaks the Zerg down. You probably can't think of that many games you've seen in ASL where Snow's gotten in there and like really cut down, you know, 4 or 5 drones, and then the Corsairs come in and kill the Overlords. That's really more of a Bisu thing, right? Snow will defend well. He'll come out with his Dragoons. He'll push, and he'll be very patient. He'll have great Psy Storms. But there is, I think, a pretty big difference here. And Bisu seems to be the best at optimizing when to turn off and turn on the aggression while getting probes, while getting defenses. And Hero's got, I think, along with Sulky, the cleanest early game ZVP there is. Like, he's just so perfect. And it's always ambiguous. When you look at it from the Protoss's eyes, it's not clear what he's going to do. Is he going to tech? Is he going to Hydra bust? What is the tech going to be? It's a really tough early game. And Hero's always happy to exploit that.
Well, we're going to go into knockout, then Sylphid, then match point. Hero's going to want to try to take this pretty quickly. I think a lot of people think match point is a bit better for Protoss in the matchup. So let's get into it. Game 1 on knockout.
Okay, Snow here in the top left, Hero in the top right. And quick plug here, guys, before we start this best of 3. Consider signing up for the Patreon, patreon.com/ASL English. It's so good to be back here doing ASL. We love this game. It's crazy that I got into this game, I think a month or 2 after it came out when I was in middle school. I'm 41, almost 42. And I'm still playing it. I'm still enjoying it. And we're just so happy that even though it is massive in this obscure corner of the world in South Korea, we're so happy that we can bring it to you guys and we can now share it with the rest of the world. And the way that we can do that is because you guys have been supporting us on the Patreon. So consider signing up. We love you guys and we love this game.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. It's been such a big part of our lives for so long. And that never has to end. It's crazy. Like, you know, when new games come out and there's new esports and everything, a lot of times there's a shelf life on that. Like, it's not going to last. The developer won't support it forever. But this game is so old, it doesn't even actually need developer support. Like, the game is just going to exist forever. And a lot of it is because of fans like you. So thank you very much to everyone who has signed up on the Patreon previously. And do check it out. It's a great place to go to get links to the VODs and all that stuff.
So he's going to go for the Forge expand. Does seem like the second probe was a little bit late to be sent across the map. And, you know, he's going to look and see. But by the way, on this map, you can cannon rush. So it kind of makes sense to go for Forge expands. And when I say cannon rush, I'm talking about behind the minerals. You know, anything that's going to be like a hatchery in 11, you can just punish and win. And in this game, it's going to be overpull so that you can't cannon rush. But he can just switch back into an expand play here. And Snow went up to 4. This is very odd. He's at 14 supply.
Do you normally go Nexus on 13 with this, or
13 or 12?
Okay.
Usually. Well, it looks like he canceled and then started one up again. Actually, interestingly, he went 13, 14 for a second. So I don't know. The second scouting probe was also a little bit late, unless I really don't understand this. And I think these are pretty basic moves. You know, when you send the probe out to scout. So that drone did delay the Nexus. He is going to go ahead and throw that down now. And now Snow is going to be getting the gateway up here at the entrance. And he's going to keep this one probe running around, basically just, you know, monitoring the expansion situation, how many lings are coming along, any other info he can get here.
You're doing a pretty good job of pushing that probe away. Some nice micro there. But Snow keeping it at pretty high health as well as he continues to run away. And do you... Oh, sorry. Do you expect
no, go ahead, please.
Hero to continue to play aggressive? Sometimes when people slump a little bit, they go more towards aggressive play. There's something like simpler about it, right? Where you can be like, okay, I'm going to execute these aggressive builds because I'm not playing as well recently. We definitely saw that arc with Action, where he went super cheesy for like a year. And obviously we saw that game with Hero there. I'm just wondering if you think that's where he might tend towards today.
You know, with Hero, it's just so hard for me to tell you what he's going to do. Well, I guess we didn't have to. All I had to do was wait. He's going to go for a Hydra. You know, he's just so good at having, you know, this kind of varied play style. But yeah, it's going to be Hydras once more here. Snow again, you know, probes sent down did you see that? Like a little bit too soon? Probes with minerals? I don't know. I don't mean to nitpick here, but
a little bit off.
We saw, yeah, things look kind of a couple seconds off. Which I don't feel like we talk about stuff like this that often because it's not something that really happens that often in sequence. But yeah, even the probe sent a little bit early.
Well, I think everyone can relate to that, though, Tasteless, where, like, you know, everyone that plays games, like, you know when you're dialed in. Like, whether you're a professional or competitive player or you just, you know, enjoy playing games, like, you'll sit down and start playing a game and you'll hit everything. You'll be like, yeah, I'm super dialed in. I'm playing well. But you're right. Like, it seems like just slight errors from Snow, which doesn't necessarily mean he's going to lose or something, but it can speak towards the mindset a little bit.
Yeah, and especially when a Hydra bus is coming in here. And this really does come down to seconds, right? By the way, this map, we should point out, next to the forge and the pylon there, what looks like kind of a half pipe almost, that is low ground to high ground. So this map, it's almost like it was made by Protoss players to make PvZ easier.
Yes.
It's not as good for a Hydra bus because, you have a chance to miss when firing from low ground to high ground. So it's interesting to see that he still plans on doing this. And I don't know if Snow's going to be maybe a little bit more comfortable, or maybe too comfortable, right? Maybe underestimating the threat of, a Hydra bus, because Hydras do attack really fast. Even if they miss a shot, it's not like, Dragoons or siege tanks or other units that attack fairly slowly. So let's see what happens. Snow does have the cannon in the right place. It's far back enough that the Hydras can't basically overwhelm it very easily. But he's going to need to get some more cannons. And by the way, the placement of this expansion, see how the pylon is at the bottom right? Oh, never mind. Okay, I take it back. There's a pylon to the left. I didn't see that one up there. So he has enough room to make more cannons up there, because when Snow was eliminated previously, he didn't have enough room to make all the cannons he needed to hold the bust.
I'm a little bit nervous for him right now. His Corsair's flying through. Is he going to see these Hydras? He goes after an Overlord. Oh my God, Tastosis. I think he just doesn't know. Okay, he starts another cannon. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's getting the cannons. He's putting them further back. I think this might be better placed than what Rain had here, but he's going to need more than this. He's going to need a lot more than this. And you can see the cannon is far back enough that it can't protect the pylon at all, so it's going to unpower it. There are 2 more pylons here. He's going to dive in, and can he get that other cannon? I guess he can't quite reach it, but he needs to pull these Zealots back. You don't want to have the Zealots get fished too far out. The Hydras are going to come up again. Okay, they can hit that.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Hero. GG. Well, Tasteless. Hero's had a couple very fast games so far. They've showed
the best rush in the game.
Yeah. Oh,
it's the best rush in the game. It's been here forever. It's extremely hard to stop and prepare for. I wonder if there's a better spot the cannons could have been in. But, when he kills the pylon up there, it makes a little bit more room. The Hydras can come up a little bit more quickly. And you can see that low ground to high ground area never played a role at all in that bust.
Yeah. There was a stat utilized earlier. In the first round, Hero only played for 16 minutes to qualify into the round of 16. It was just very fast, right? The ZVZ and everything. But here so far, it's been less than that for 2 games, I think. And, we're going to go into Sylphid. I don't know if he's going to continue just going 3-hatch Hydra, but today has looked pretty easy for Hero so far.
It definitely feels like he could go 3-hatch Hydra again, doesn't it? Like, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
No one's even come close to holding it so far, so why not?
Yeah, and that one was a lot simpler. By the way, I guess I was going to say maybe the Corsair could have gone a better route, but even then, I mean, it looks like he sensed the Hydras were coming anyways. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe people need to look at placement or preemption, something. Anyways, on into game 2. Hero up with a 1-0 lead. The winner of this series is moving on into the round of 8. Already 2 spots filled. Today we're going to have 2 more. One of them will be Hero or Snow. Right now it is looking very much like, a series Hero could probably carry into the round of 8. Certainly a matchup he's not struggling with.
Yeah, he definitely looking good as far as the 3-hatch Hydra plays go. I would like to see a nice macro game out of him. And I think Snow's a good test for people macro-wise. I really like the way that Snow grinds Zerg down in the later game. I feel like if I played PvZ, I'd probably copy his style for that, where he kind of he runs around, farms out Psystorms, gains value over and over and over. Not that dissimilar, really, to his Protoss vs. Terran.
Yeah, he approaches it, I think, in very much like a kind of a powering sense. And PvZ, when you get far enough along as Protoss, it's a lot like TvZ where you're trying to push. You're trying to basically smash the expansions and prevent the game from going on for too long. Let's see, Snow, he didn't make a gateway or a forge, actually. So he's going to go for Nexus on 11, I believe.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that Hero's not doing like a 9 pool here, man, because that would be like, well, I thought we were going to see some good ZVPs today, but luckily he is going for that hatch first, so Snow is not going to be punished for his Nexus first.
I'm glad you pointed out the possibility of 9 pool or 4 pool stuff like that, because that will just beat this. So people don't do this on ladder, I think, as much, but you could. The problem is on a ladder game, you just don't know who you're against, especially when everybody's a barcode.
Yeah.
But, most builds, this will still stop. And so what you get away with by going for the Nexus on 11, obviously you're giving up some safety to cheesier builds, which, by the way, Zergs tend to not be that cheesy with the builds in PvZ. I mean, I know we have Hydra busts, but I'm talking about like 9 pool Speedling, 4 pool, 5 pool, stuff like that. What you're getting from this is you don't have to make the second pylon, because the Nexus finishes right as the supply begins to cap out. And so the Nexus serves as kind of like a super pylon, which then allows you to get your gas and your other tech up a little bit faster.
Well, the cannon coming up and 2 probes out scouting to just double check what this build order is going to end up being. Gateway gets started. So, this looks like it's going to be a game that we see some later tech in. He is getting his gas, no third hatchery as of yet.
Yeah, no, he's got his second gas pretty fast. I'm curious what he wants to do with this. Let's see if he goes, okay, he is going to try to get a third hatchery up here. And Snow's smart. He says this is probably the best base to take because it's on a high ground and you can kind of turtle up from there. So he has his probe just block the entrance. And that'll force another hatchery somewhere else. Oh, maybe not. Hold on. Okay, the probe ran out just to check if it was possibly in the center left. And it's not. So he's going to keep guarding that location.
It's funny. The reverse ramp you can see there. We weren't actually given ramps in every direction in the map editor, so creative map makers had to do very weird things to make ramps go in the correct directions balance-wise, which is why you saw the probe kind of miss its vision there for a moment.
Yeah. It's like an upside-down ramp, basically.
Yeah.
And Hero wants this, so what Snow did is he threw a pylon down there. He's going to cancel that at the last second. And basically just buy like a couple seconds of time before the hatchery can be started over there. And meanwhile, he's just running around the map. He's checking for anything. And see how the core is going to finish? And Protoss is just now at 26 to 26. I assume there's another pylon finishing somewhere. But this is really fast tech. And that's nice because you get that Corsair out sooner. You get to scout a little bit faster. If you're going to be incrementing Corsairs out, you can start that process a little bit more quickly. And so, it's not going to be a Hydra bust game. We could still have Hydras as a major factor here, but it looks like it's going to be Spire instead, possibly with Hydras later on. This is one more standard way to play, but there are so many different, deviations in the build order from here. But, for now, Snow is, I think, in a much healthier game. This is definitely more of a PvZ than we got to see with Rain or Snow in the previous 2 games.
Yeah, I am looking forward to seeing how Hero's going to be performing in a bigger macro game here against Snow, which, of course, Snow has been practicing a lot of PvZ. That's been, well, historically, he had like this unbelievable record of, because he was a pro, obviously, back in the Kespa days, and he had never won a pro Protoss vs. Zerg match. And then when it came to ASL, it took a while for him to win one. So even though the stat is kind of like tongue-in-cheek silly, there was something like 12 years where he didn't win a PvZ, right?
Yeah.
But there's like this in-between time where there's not really like real pro StarCraft going on. But like his PvZ has become very good. With that being said, like 3 of Sulky's victories went through Snow towards the end of the tournament. And then he lost to Soma in the final. So you look at it and it's like, okay, well, PvZ is still the problem for him, but he's really good at it now.
Yeah, I think he's improved quite a bit. And, I think if he can just tighten the screws a little bit in his PvZ, just even slightly, I think he's going to have a lot more success. But, it's kind of impossible to win an ASL and not have, one of the matchups down pat. You look at somebody like Hero, and I don't think he really has a weak matchup, right? It's why he's gone deep so many times. So this is going to be +1 attack Zealots, +1 attack Corsairs. So he's going to go up to at least 5 Zealots. He's already got the Templar Archives out here, so he might get... why is his Zealot over here? I'm kind of surprised he's actually moved this far down here.
Yeah. He's going to hide under that
he's
tree.
going to hide behind the tree like it's a cartoon.
By the way, trees do give a chance to miss, which is a funny thing a lot of people don't realize. Like, you can actually... I actually had a game last night where I sieged a tank under a tree, and like 10 Dragoons could not kill it. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I had to tell my opponent what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's people forget about that. It's not talked about very often, but yeah, some of the doodads do offer additional cover, and can be used like that. So this is very much like a macro +1 attack, Zealots +1 attack, Corsairs. Like, he's not trying to hit at any moment. He's got a DT that basically kind of checks, like, is there anything that's not covered here? You almost never expect to find anything, but you might as well just like see. And from here, I mean, he's got 3 gates. He's going to make more gateways up. It's totally a snow macro build. So there's no fancy timing attack that's going to hit. He sees that its Scourge are being made, and there's mutas out, which prompts him to just keep making Corsairs. He's just going to keep focusing on doing that. And, dude, he's going to try to do... And we joke about the ogres or gamer meme from a million years ago, but yeah, I mean, he's basically going to get a ton of mutas and Scourge and maybe try to clobber the main.
It looks that way. 2 more cannons going up in the main base, so he'll have 3 over there. He is making another at the natural, and of course he has that front cannon, you know, for anti-ling and everything there as well. How many Corsairs do we have right now? Is it 4 or 5?
No, it's got to be like 7 or 8, I think.
Is it that much?
Yeah, this far along, you just keep making them.
Okay.
Although, you know, how many is there actually? He's making the Archon, which means he really feels that this is a commitment here. There's no armor upgrade yet. I don't know if it's coming. If you see armor, you kind of go, oh, God. This guy's for real. Although it might only be 5 mutas, if I'm seeing this right.
I think he has 6 mutas and then a ton of Scourge right now.
Yeah, and he's going to switch right into Lurker Tech, so it's going to be a very turtley game where nobody can really hurt each other. More Scourge still. My God. So, again, it's hard to see how many Corsairs that is, but I mean, it's a lot. Could be 8 or even 9 by now. Zerg's just going to keep turtling. The armor upgrade is done.
Yeah, we should have +1 done for Corsairs here as well. Lurker's finishing up here. He doesn't need to burrow those ASAP. And, dude, the 7 Corsairs plus the Archon just mangled the Scourge. Oh, my God. Not even close.
Well, now he can just kill all the Overlords and send the DT in. Is the DT still alive?
I think he lost the DT. I think there is another one out here. Yeah, it's coming back over this way.
So he can send this up. This is not the easiest procedure because, like, the moment an Overlord pops up, like, you know, it gets killed here. But just getting a couple of drones is going to be massive. Continuing to get more kills here. Overlord speed not done. Might not even be upgraded. Drones are going to be coming back. You can see the Corsairs are basically waiting. Dude, this is the damage that we needed to see Snow get. Oh, my God. And he's going to get the Overlord. Look at this.
That is so much damage. The DT has like 9 kills, and he's catching the drones coming out. Oh, man.
Oh, my God. He killed literally every drone at that base. And that was a drone-heavy, turtled-up position. The DT is still alive. It might go missed. I don't think that Snow can break in any further, but this is way more damage than I imagined was possible for him to pull off here. He's now hunting the mutas, dude. This is a Snow game right now, Artosis.
He's crushing.
Hero's going to split him.
This is...
Yeah, the Scourge, he can't flick shot this down. They're basically too close, so he has to go back to the safety of the cannons. That's going to force a reset here.
And Snow is taking a third base during this on the high ground over to the left-hand side. So it looks like he is so incredibly ahead at this point. But to be fair, Hero Supply is higher than I expected it to be after all that damage. I'm actually kind of surprised it's 92 after he lost that many drones, plus his mutas and Scourge got crushed. But Snow definitely looking poised to be able to take this game.
Well, I don't think Hero can take a 4th base. Like, there's nowhere safe to expand to. Everything's pushable. He did get to Hive. I didn't see if there's Defilers. He might just be getting the Crackling upgrade here. But, like, Hero can still fight. He can still make stuff happen. We need to see, like, a ton of Dragoons made here. if he's going to be able to push.
Yeah.
And I think if Hero does try to go for a macro game, he's just going to be doing that.
What is Hero's plan to come back in a game like this? Like, do you try to do a zoned lurker defense? Do you try to do a lurker containment on the main? Do you try to bust that third base because it's so far away from everything else? Like, what do you think is the best way for him to try to fight back after losing that many drones?
I think he has to do turtled lurker play. I don't think you can do a contain. I mean, maybe you could try to contain him and then isolate that base and kill it, but that's pretty hard. When they already have a up and running third base, contains don't really work. You can go for 4 base like super turtly and probably go into Dark Swarm. If you're going into Dark Swarms, Protoss like has to push, and that's what he's going to do. So he's going to go for a Defiler Mound. He's going to make probably a lot more lurkers and just throw down Dark Swarm, and it's not going to be easy. At the same time, I think Hero is one of the better players in the whole world. So he's basically going to make what looks like a ton of potholes on the map here. It's going to be lurkers, like just so many, so hard to push. And I've seen guides that Snow has made where he explains how to do this. And he says, what you really want to do is just throw storms down, get some damage done, go back, let the storms recharge. Go in, throw more storms down, and just sort of get value over time. A lot of players will panic and try to push. So Snow's going to take a 4th base here and just basically match the Zerg. And should be an interesting, pretty dramatic game here. I mean, Hero's basically been on the ropes, especially since those drones were all killed. But there are pretty tricky ways for Zerg to play this from this point on here, and we're going to be seeing that.
And you mentioned the 4th base. This isn't just a 4th base. This is a 4th gas. Like a lot of times when you see 4 base Protoss, 1 base is a mineral base. But this is going to really allow Snow to make a ton of High Templars and anything else that he might want to make. By the way, I do like the speed of this Defiler Mound out of Hero. We get so many Protoss for Zergs where Zerg just stays on layer tech all game, right? They get ahead and they just kind of continue to make lurkers and hydras or whatever it might be. So kind of refreshing to see that. I've actually seen Soma in some of his games starting to try out like faster hive builds against Protoss. So it's kind of exciting. It feels like less explored than some of the lurker hydra mid game.
Well, if they just stay on layer tech, you don't have to push them, right? Because you're going to have 3-3. You're just going to win the game. If they go to hive tech, then the Protoss is sort of forced to do something. And I think we're seeing that something come out here right now. But this is, again, so many lurkers. The Dark Swarms are going to come down here. Now, Storm is going to be your best friend. So you want to try to blanket the area with a lot of storms, make it really hard to push through those areas. Hard to secure those areas. And, you know, it is a very big area, right? I mean, it's a lot of locations to try to cover. And so Snow's going to try to go around, and Hero's going to go for a counterattack. And I think Snow's got the right idea. Snow's basically going to come back and zone this, and then he's going to try to take a fight in the middle of the map. I love this.
Very, very smart play. Snow coming over with the rest of his army right now. Some High Templars coming into this area as well. Dark Swarms going down. Makes the Dragoons almost useless here. The Zealots, of course, can do damage under those Dark Swarms, but they get shredded so quickly by the Lurker Spines.
Got more storms coming down. And, I mean, I think Hero's made this game a lot harder for himself by sending those units out there. They're slowly getting picked off, but there's a lot more Lings coming in here. These will have the Adrenal upgrade, so they're going to do a lot more damage. It's just Dragoons out here. He's going to have to retreat with this. This cannot fight in this position.
Crazy storm
nice
right there.
Snipes on the Lurkers.
Yeah, very nice micro from Snow walking back. If there's another Dark Storm that goes down up here, he's going to lose this base, so it's got to be very careful about that. I don't see a Defiler up here as of right now. By the way, great upgrades. And look at this DT drop. Oh my God, he's going to get the pool.
This is amazing. 4 DTs in the main here, and everything is on the other side of the map. And it's going to be hard to respond to this. I mean, 4 DTs can actually fight a lot. Like these Hydras, you cannot just like, A-click this over here. They're going to tear through everything. He's got the Corsair doing damage up here as well. It looks like finally he sent enough back over here. A push onto the high ground here. And he doesn't kill that Lurker at the ramp, unfortunately.
Still some damage going to be dealt. Some very good storms, reducing the counts of these Zerglings quite a bit. I think that's why he targeted down the pool. Not only was it kind of an easy target, but the Cracklings are doing such a good job against him right now. And those are going to be off the field, at least for a little bit.
He's hid the DTs really well. I love what Snow's doing here. This formation is great. just having everything kind of spread out like this. He's taken out everything that's on the ramp. Remember, this is still 4 base to 4 base. Zerg has to keep growing here. You can play a pretty aggressive game, but and we do have actually one more base for Hero. It's close to the center here, but these attacks are not doing it, man. He is not getting very much done. He's kind of feeding lurkers into the Protoss, and this is great for Snow.
Yeah, if he had killed one of those Nexuses, maybe we could look at this and say that this was a great attack. But at the end of the day, Snow holds it, and he doesn't even lose his army, right? It's not like he got wiped out and it was like an equalizing effect. His army is really high quality still. Has some Archons in there, still has those Dragoons around. So, like, Hero has to continue to grind with the Defilers, and I don't see that many of them out here.
Yeah, the Corsairs are coming in. He's doing more damage with these DTs. I think this game has almost been won here by Snow. I love the fact that he's just got these DTs doing whatever he can. It's so hard for the Zerg to kind of multitask and take care of all of these threats here. Very quietly, Snow's going to take this base in the top right. I don't know if Snow knows about this base in the middle left. He might have seen the creep over there, but he hasn't given this that much attention. It would be a great location to try to hit. Snow is continuing to just sort of run around and play keep away. There are no overlords, by the way, inside of the natural. If he did go over there, that would be a great place to try to get some more drone kills, because I think Hero's way too preoccupied.
Yeah, the DT harassment that we've had in the main base has been kind of heartbreaking for Hero. He's taken so much damage from this DT drop from earlier, still left alive. Snow pushing down. Like, Hero is setting up lines of defense, and he's still technically holding on, but Snow is almost maxed out. And look at this. How does he find the time to get that DT to target everything down while pushing back everything in the center?
Yeah, I mean, Snow's playing one of the best PvZs we've seen from him here. He is going to hit this base, and this is where it's going to get really tough for Hero to find a way out of this. This is so bad because this is the only new location that's going to have fresh resources. You know, Snow is actually basically outbasing his opponent in this. It looks like Hero's going to go for a counterattack as well. He's got a bunch of Lings streaming across the map going towards the top right, which is not a bad location, but I don't know what he can get done up there.
Yeah, even if he were to kill that, it is a mineral base, so it's not the end of the world for Snow if he were to lose this. By the way, we see Reaver tech coming up. Can maybe get some speed shuttles for some storm drops, potentially some Reavers that Snow is so good with, although definitely a different functionality in this matchup from how he uses them in the other two. Snow looking just so strong in this big macro game. Like, this is, it feels really refreshing to see a Protoss just kind of control everything, block everything, do harassment. Just some great play from Snow.
Yeah, I mean, the lurkers are going to come up here again, and you got to be careful when these lurkers come up. If they can just like burrow around your army, they can right click down everything. But you can see Snow's doing a good job. He's kiting really well. Those lurkers are going to be very squishy if they ever try to engage again. This is a DT with 21 kills over here. And what Snow's been relying on really effectively is just Storm. And this is something I learned in some of those guides I watched from him, where he's very willing to delay the Reaver tech. A lot of people get Reavers a little bit faster. He kind of just sits on Storm and just keeps storming stuff and not overextending, and just trusting that the Storm over time is going to get a lot of value.
Well, that's certainly what we've seen. His Storms have been absolutely insane, especially that little engagement we just saw with the lurkers trying to go up to surround him there. Is Zeratul still alive? That 21 kill DT? That thing is...
Yes, I think so.
that is a StarCraft hero right there. Can't believe it. Oh, a Defiler and a little army sneaking up around the top left of the map right now. Oh, there he is, Tastosis. 25 kills. Single-handedly thwarting these attacks.
Yeah, he's just gonna plague off here. A pretty lackluster plague. Gets like 3 Zealots and a Dragoon. No big deal. And, you know... Protoss doesn't have the easiest time pushing these bases, like the one that we're looking at here. They don't have like a siege tank or anything that can hit from afar, but you can do it. You can definitely do it. You just have to kind of keep storming there. If he can break this down before creep comes up, which is going to happen when the hatchery finishes, he can probably just wreck this, because if you can't get a bunch of Sunks and Spores over here, you can basically overpower this, just like we're seeing right here. And Hero might have to tap out. I mean, Snow has gotten so big. He's taken the 3 o'clock base over here on the side, which is just incredible. Lurkers are coming up, and, you know, drones transferred here, but a little bit too late. Notice there's no Dragoons here. No point in case there is Dark Swarm. Just Zealots, Templars, and Archons.
Yeah, Snow continues to look so strong here. Reaver's starting to come out. His Archon count is insane at this point. The amount of storms he's throwing down is absolutely wild. Archons, by the way, you know, they do splash damage, so they can deal damage under Darkstorm, but they cannot hit a Burrowed Lurker under Darkstorm. So just something to keep in mind.
But can they deal damage to a Lurker if it is next to another Lurker? Is that the deal?
Yeah, so the attack gets displaced to the left. So if something is standing in the right area, I believe the splash can actually still hit the Lurker. But yeah, it can't, like, let's say there's one Lurker under Darkstorm, a trillion Archons can't kill it. Similar to siege tanks.
Right. The Reaver's finally in with the mix. You know, this is like a 22-minute Reaver entering the group. But, you know, Snow's pretty much done it. I mean, we're seeing Hero try to figure out if there's anything else he can do. And, you know, Mass Hydra does get a little bit scarier when you have, for Protoss, when you're Archon, Zealot, Templar, because if you dodge a couple storms, the Hydras can kill everything, but the Reaver really makes it a lot more messy.
Of course, the Storm's still going to be so strong. By the way, with Plague, you know, Plague is, like, really scary for Protoss. Not for Archon specifically, but Protoss units don't heal beyond the shields. And the shields are, like, kind of crappy. Everything does full damage to shields. It's like, you know, as a Terran player, I hate Plague. And I try to pretend that Protoss hates Plague less because they have their shields, but it's actually worse because, like, they plague your units, and it's like, well, that's, like, 1 health with 60 shields forever, you know, and it's just going to completely evaporate.
He is just going to camp out over here. He can both push this base and deny this expansion on the left. Protoss can even expand over here. And I don't know what else Hero can do. I mean, Protoss doesn't have a ton right now, but you can see, yeah, that's going to be a GG. Great game.
What a nice game.
Snow. And by the way, we got to see an actual PVZ, not just Hydras killing cannons. Great game.
Dude, that was a great game. That was really a lot of fun to watch. It felt like Snow was in control for basically the whole game. I did feel like, you know, when Hero first launched the big Defiler attack towards the top left 2 bases, I was like, oh, maybe he has a chance here, but Snow parried it very, very well, even though Dark Swarms got close to his Nexus. Fantastically done, showing his strength. And we're going to go into Match Point next. Match Point, I think most people think it's a pretty good map for Protoss in the matchup. Let's see what Hero's plan is going to be. You know, a little thing to mention, in the ASL Open, Tolbo eliminated Effort on Match Point. And Effort, instead of saying GG, said, beep, Protoss map. It's like, he was not too happy with it. So let's see what Hero's plan is going to be going into this 2-player map.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Match Point because I hate playing TVP on this, so I've ticked it off in my you know, ladder selections, but I'm curious how it's going to be played. I mean, obviously, Snow is going to have a way to approach this map, right? So we're going to get something pretty smart. Definitely not as many bases to be taken, you know, unlike Neo Sylphid, where there's a lot of ways to expand. Match Point has a very formulaic way that both sides grow on the map. Very, frankly, one-dimensional way that you develop, which means you really have to force what you take. You can't be, you know, crafty and sneaky and expand in different directions. You really have to kind of go in one direction. The game is kind of set on a set of tracks that it has to follow, at least early on. And again, we could see some cheesy stuff here. 2-player spawn map here. Hero in the bottom left, Snow in the top right. I don't think we're going to have any proxy gate or anything weird or cheesy. I think proxy gate's gone in this matchup overall. And if it ever comes back, that'll be exciting. But it seems like it's really hasn't been used since like KSL, honestly. And I know we mentioned like I think one final where Mini used it or semifinal, but you know, it's very rare.
It would have to be Mini that would bring it back to. He'd figure out some sort of weird, obscure timing that would work.
Yeah.
He's like the only one that tinkers with insanity like that. But yeah. All right. Yeah, Match Point here, PVZ. I guess I haven't seen that many PVZs here, but you know, the problem with Match Point, this is a much older map, right? Maps aren't really made like this anymore. You have your line of 4 bases down the center, and then you have 2 very hard to hold bases up at 12 o'clock and down at 6 o'clock. Right? Those are kind of out in the middle of nowhere, not near anything, hard to defend. Like, you have to really be dominating your opponent and really have map control to be able to take one of those. And then still, the place that you're at is pretty far away from them, so that maybe they can still do something with like drops or something, right? So that's kind of the problem. It's like, okay, well, you have 4 bases, I have 4 bases. Which of our races is more cost efficient? And that's right. That's what makes it really tough in pretty much every matchup. It's just Match Point is not a very well balanced map. You know, a lot of these other maps is like, oh yeah, there's a lot of back and forth, but with this one, it's like, okay, does Hero need to cheese here, or, you know, is he gonna be fine? Like, I actually wonder, Tastosis, I know you said you have it vetoed, but you probably still have seen and played many more PvZs than me on this map. Is there, like, do people utilize, like, lurker contains or something on the high ground above the mineral base here? Because that looks like a lot of maps that have a feature like that Zerg likes to abuse.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. That's definitely one thing that Zerg can try to go for. You can also push the Zerg. I mean, Zerg will a lot of times make lurkers on their high ground to try to defend. But I think your analysis on, like, the overall nature of the map, the longer the game goes, is the most important takeaway. Is that, like, by the way, we were talking about how you have to expand a certain way. He took 6 o'clock.
That makes me think it's a Hydra bust, man. Like, it's just, that's a pretty close rally. So that's the only thing I see where it's like, okay, that could make sense, that he's going to try to rally out Hydras from there and try a bust maybe. I don't know.
I don't know the drone timing here exactly. But he did get his other hatch up pretty fast. I'm curious what Snow thinks about this. It's very easy to check the top 2 locations, like center and left and upper left, and say, there's no hatchery here. I don't know what's going on. Like, there has to be a 3rd hatchery. Zerg never really want to make like a 3rd hatchery around their main. I know we see that in ZVT sometimes, like natural or main or something like that. I assume the den is just made at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's where you would go if you wanted to do that rush. The probe right now, still remaining alive, but taking some extra damage here.
Yeah, I mean, okay, where's the den? I mean, okay,
there it is.
It was actually in the back of the main here.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I can't imagine you get a layer here, but you know, I'll let him show us. The probe is going to come down here and see this, and I think he's going to have the same thought you have, Artosis. Did he see that? Yeah, he sees the creep, which is enough, obviously.
Yeah, it's actually, that little corridor to get in there is very tough. You're not going to be able to get back out if you send the probe in there.
Right.
It's just, it's something weird about the angle and how close it is, that there's no smooth pathing through it. I don't really know how to explain it other than that.
No, it's too hard to get a worker out of there, so you basically just have to wait. And, you know, Hydra Bus, I guess we always have to look at them and say, well, I guess the most important part, first of all, is like, does he survive the attack from the Hydras, right? Because if he does, then the game goes on. If not, then, you know, we're going to be talking about how Hero moved on to the round of 8 again. And, you know, on Snow's side of things, you know, he's got enough room to probably make a healthy amount of cannons, but we should point out that cannon at the entrance, it's really close.
Yeah.
You basically want to have the cannon pretty far back.
Dude, he just started a layer as the Zealot came in. That's so smart. Oh my God, I love that. That is so intelligent.
Yeah, he's really good. That's crazy. So he's probably going to cancel the layer once the vision's dissipated here. That's crazy. Yeah, so he cancels it. Now, you know, it's not the craziest place to make a layer, by the way. Like, you know, it's the main's always kind of the normal spot, but sometimes you'll make it in different locations. And I think he suspects something, so he's going to make that other cannon in the back. But remember that, like, you know, we looked at like all these hyper modern wall-ins where it's like the gateway sticks out further and the forge is further back, and you have enough room to make cannons to where they can't just be you can't just dive on him and kill him. But like, this spot does look really weak.
It really does.
The nature of the wall-in does look rough. Has he seen a Hydra yet?
No. No, and in fact, look at him try to pull.
What?
He tried to pull there for a second. He's like, never mind. He's gonna just see me. We'll get some damage done. He needs to add some cannons right now.
Yeah, he needs a lot more cannons. 3's not going to cut it. And again, I don't know how safe these cannons are. He might want to get one to the left and maybe one even to the right here. And this is going to hit so hard, Tastosis. I am so nervous for Snow here.
I don't think he's going to hold this, Tasteless. This looks really, really scary. The Zealots start to come out. 2 of them actually stuck behind. Probes drilling down. The probes are actually doing a
from the
heroic. Yeah, that is amazing drilling from these probes. Seriously.
Where is he drilling them to? What does he see?
I thought his Corsair was near something, but it's not. I don't know how he
no,
did
it is.
that.
It's at 6 o'clock. That's
what
it is.
Okay. There's a second Corsair up top then. That's what I was seeing. And he actually gets an Overlord during that as well. Damn, dude. Great drill. Now he has enough cannons. I think he just holds. Ooh.
He overstayed. He way overstayed there. He lost about 4 more Hydras than he needed to.
Yeah.
And remember, you're watching the Protoss make cannons, and that's always like a little bit painful, right? When you're just making defenses. But what you don't have at home are a lot of hatcheries. So Zerg's on 3 hatches and soon to have 4. Where Protoss is eventually, they're going to get up to 8 gates pretty fast. And so what happens in a lot of these games post Hydra bust, wait a minute. Oh no, I guess that's all powered by the pylon above. Maybe not the one on the far left. But anyways, Protoss is going to have 8 gates long before the Zerg has 6 hatcheries. And that's where the Zerg usually dies. Even though I think Zergs now are better than ever at these games where you're basically sitting, after a failed Hydra rush, they're pretty good at surviving. This is Protoss favor.
Well, Snow has done a great job blocking a 3-hatch Hydra. He died to one, he blocked one, and now he's, in a favored position on a favored map. So where do you go as hero from here? Like, do you try to, the thing is they stopped making Corsairs a lot. I actually am a big fan of True, and I love the way that he kind of approaches the game, even though he's like a very kind of cheesy, aggressive Zerg. And he'll do 3-hatch Hydra, end up not killing Protoss, and then go into Mutas to snipe High Templars, and then go mass Hydra, and then go back into Mutas, and then go mass Hydra. Like, to my Terran brain, that makes a lot of sense, right? Just kind of...
No, I think it's super strong.
Yeah, just focusing on that. Like, is that something for Hero to do here? Do you think it's better for him to try to set up Lurker? It's just that third base is so far away. I can't imagine a Lurker-based game here.
I think you have to try to take the fight to the Protoss. I think this map is I think just bad to try to turtle on Lurkers, especially when you have 6 o'clock, because that's like almost its own location. Like it's very hard to connect that to anything. Usually what happens is they go for, they get 11 Mutas and they snipe your Templars and they try to overwhelm you with Hydras. And what Protosses tend to do, and I feel like we don't see all of them do it, but I know Best does it, is he goes for a Dark Archon. And with the Dark Archon, you just escort the Templars, with the Dark Archon.
Yeah.
And when the Mutas come, you freeze the Mutas with Maelstrom, storm the Mutas, or let the Dragoons kill them, and you win the game, right? And the thing is, they don't have to go for Mutas, but even then, like a Dark Archon can be used. Like it does have utility. You can like freeze Lurkers or Hydras or anything else with it.
Yeah. And feedback if it does get to Defilers. Like a Dark Archon's
right.
Most StarCraft fans in the foreign scene, the English-speaking scene, feel like Dark Archons are underused. And I tell you, as a non-Protoss, non-Zerg player, I watch when Best goes Dark Archon, and I'm like, he's so far ahead, everyone. Why is everyone not doing this after a 3-hatch Hydra? It seems so good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I personally go for the Dark Archon as well.
Yeah.
Another approach is to make a shuttle and put the Templars in that and have Corsairs that protect it. And Mutas actually don't kill this shuttle very fast. And the Mutas don't have like a ton of time to kill everything. I can't remember who did this, but my mind was kind of blown when I saw it. It might have even been Snow.
I remember that too, but I don't remember who it was.
Yeah.
I remember exactly what you're talking about, where we're like, whoa, this is from StarCraft 2. Like, this is sick. And I haven't really seen it since, though. I wonder why.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Right now, I don't see Mutas out, so this might be, like, not a factor in this game at all. But let's watch. He's going to take a third base. You're kind of waiting for a target to show up in a game like this. You're kind of sitting back and looking around and going, okay, where are you going to expand? You don't really need to attack into a place that's already got, sunken colonies and defenses, like this base down here at 6. But, where else can Zerg expand? Basically to the top and up. Maybe to the bottom right, but I think Protoss could hit that. And Hero's going to try to slide through the middle, and I think he might even try to set up a big drop here. And, Hero's so good at moving things through the map where you don't get to see them.
He just had vision, but did he actually see it? I don't think so.
I don't know if his eyes saw it. I mean, it was on the mini map, but
well, his Corsairs happen to come back down, so he's going to see it. And when you see something that looks like that, you know exactly what's going on.
Yeah,
this is not a fake from Hero. Like Hero has clearly tried to get over here and do this without being detected, but with Snow seeing this. Generally, you'll see them end up, Protoss players will end up leaving like a couple High Templars in the main base, maybe a few Zealots, make a couple cannons, that type of thing. And he should keep this Corsair alive for some vision up there as well. Oh, God.
Oh, nice little lurker drop. I love this. Just send this in here and try to do whatever damage you can do. When Zerg's really behind, I think one of the last options they've got is to try to go for some kind of drops.
Yeah.
You have a weird Hydra bust opening. You're trying to figure out where you can take the game from here. I think drops, when they're not respected, can really mess a Protoss player up. There is no fourth base for Zerg. He is just sitting back and, and kind of moving around here. He could try to push into this third base.
Well, he's doing a little counterattack with some Zealots, but this is a lot of Hydras, and Hero takes over this high ground. It seems like Snow was really waiting for that drop and is slightly out of position against this, but not the end of the world.
Oh, this could be the end of the world, maybe.
You think so?
Actually, this is like really bad. On this map, you don't have a lot of places to go. You kind of can't let Zerg get up here. Like, this is a really punishable position.
Trying to hit the probes there, but it looks like the cannon was at a perfect location. Still holding that position. Don't forget, though, like, Hero right now is on 3 base. So Snow is by no means dead right now. Obviously, that position on the high ground is always a tough one for Protoss to end up breaking out of. But there is another ramp. There's like another way he can get some units out. He's running around with these Zealots right now, seeing what he can do and checking for extra bases. And I think he's still got time, like, on his side in a way, right? Because it's not like there's additional tech. Like, he can start farming with these Psy Storms and try to break through slowly.
Yeah, there's actually not that many lurkers up here. In my head, I thought there was a lot more.
Yeah.
So he kind of drives that back. And what Protoss needs to do is push up here and control this platform. This platform's like the most important side of your map. Or I guess part of your side of the map is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
The Hydras are coming through here. Artosis, this is an insane number of Hydras.
So
Great
many.
targeting on the lurkers. You really don't want to be surrounded. You need to go into like a compacted area like the one we're seeing here. The Hydras, I mean, I don't think he can push further in because, 2 storms is going to melt everything over here.
Yeah. And this little group unable to find a way in. A couple lurkers left there burrowed. It's kind of a crazy position, and as Hero adds more and more lurkers, it's going to be harder for Snow to push up there once again. But he does have a lot of High Templars that he's kept alive. So, as he recharges those storms, he does continue to gain value, and there's no 4th base yet for Hero.
He is taking the bottom right, which I think is kind of genius.
Oh, I actually didn't even see that.
You're not going to give that any attention. Yeah, no, I almost missed it myself. Like, that's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Because I think Protoss is basically just going to be peeking at the third base. Because there are games where you're so behind, you don't even expand yourself. You're just trying to force them off of their third base.
Yeah.
Zerg do mine out slower than Protoss in a lot of games because they make less workers. It's the way the race works. He's got some great Psy Storms coming up here. Again, the arc is really impressive. And what Hero's doing is he's only sending some units in. He's not sending everything because that's how everything gets stormed, right? So he sends enough in to do damage and bleed out storms, and then he fills it back in. The Zealots that are out on the map, they're here to just make sure that a hatchery can't be forced out. The problem is that Hero's so invested in this while hiding this base. I mean, if Hero wins this, this is like a masterclass in PvZ when you're behind.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be amazing. But I think Snow's going to break through everything. And anytime they have a lurker contain up on you and you break through, I feel like the Protoss ends up winning that game the vast, vast majority of the time. There's just not that much left behind. You put so much money into that containment. And it seems like there's just enough here for Snow. He has so many Dragoons, more Zealots coming up. He's hit so many Storms, picking off Overlords. Look at the supply differential. 50 additional supply here for Snow.
Yeah, and when you have a lurker contain, you got to remember the Zerg's invested everything there. So it's not like you break a lurker contain and they also have this incredible turtle defense back at home. And so now the contain has been broken. It's becoming a push. And Hero's trying to just stop this onslaught of units. It's low ground fighting up into high ground here. Really bad for Hero here. Meanwhile, the Zealots are actually doing damage over here. I think Snow's done it. And I think this is a really good kind of moment in his PvZ career here.
Yeah.
Because this is a crazy high-level ZVP from Hero. And Snow basically powered through it. He kind of stayed an honorable Protoss here, just macroing, holding the cheese, pushing out, defending. By the way, the probe scouted the bottom right, which means that's going to fall. The only thing keeping that bottom right base open was the fact that it's so crazy to expand there, you don't look for it.
Yeah, yeah. Still just on that layer tech. Hero's going to try to claw his way back into this game. And he sees that 12 o'clock base that Snow's trying to take, so it looks like he's going to go up and clear that, but yeah, I think Snow's just going to run through him now. Not much left here for Hero.
No, I think Hero is basically dead. You know, eventually Snow has to get another base, but I think right now Hero doesn't have anything to work with, and that's going to be a GG. Snow wins 2-1 here. He's going to be the third player going on into the round of 8. Our second Protoss player, Artosis.
Yes. Yes. Where's all my Terran players, Tastosis? What's going on here? It's looking grim. And of course,
beautiful thing.
Yeah, Oregon will be playing next here against Rain, but I don't hold out too much hope for that. But who knows? We'll see. Snow advancing is... I mean, it's expected, but Hero did play well today. He definitely played on the more aggressive side, and it didn't end up working out for him. But I wonder if Snow beats Oregon and comes up. I mean, if Rain beats Oregon and comes up to the final match, is he going to be able to handle that with as much finesse as we just saw from Snow?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be exciting if we do get a rematch of that. I want to see, you know, how much more is Hydra busting going to be a thing here for Hero versus, you know, for Snow instead of versus Rain here. You know, not a lot of lurkers up here, by the way. I think if he had a little bit more, it would have been tougher to push up. Once Protoss gets onto the high ground here, it gets a lot easier to storm this. And once you have control of this area over here, you know, it's hard for Zerg to have anything. I think had Zerg leaned a little bit harder on this and just kept maybe trying to drop lurkers behind the minerals at the third base and just kind of deny mining, maybe you could have slowed him down just enough that Protoss would have a hard time moving out. But here we see the moment where he's completely broken free. And from here, you know, the game, it's always going to be easy. We're going to have an interview, guys. Let's see what else.
ASL Season21 16강 비조 경기.
You're watching Group B of the round of 16 here at ASL Season 21 as we have our first player through to the quarterfinals today. It's Snow. Congratulations. Thank you. This is your 5th season in a row where you move on to the round of 8. It was very out of the ordinary to see you so lacking in confidence in the pre-game interview earlier today. But when it's actually time to play, boy, did you show perfect performance as you advance on in the tournament. How are you feeling? No, I honestly lost a lot in practice, so I was genuinely worried. I'm glad I managed to win. In the early morning hours, I was racking my brain about whether I should change my builds. I realized I have no time for that. I just went for it. Against Zerg? No, against Terran. Against Terran. But luckily it worked. In the pre-game interview, it felt that it was specifically the PvT you were not confident about. But getting off to a good start in the early game against Oregon must have relieved some of those worries. Right. Originally, you don't really get to do damage with this. But this is a tournament, and the damage did go in. And from then on, I felt the game was going well, so I relaxed. And when it comes to the winner's match against Hero, he was actually leading with a 9-2 head-to-head score in the ASL. I wonder whether that had any effect on your mentality going into the game.
지는 사람이 워낙 많았어요.
I've been losing a lot.
3대
I have scores like that against people, like 3-7 or losing all games against Solki, for instance.
딱히 신경이 쓰이진 않았습니다.
So I don't really pay attention to it. Right. But losing the first game against Hero's Quick Hydra build, you found yourself having to reverse sweep. And in the second game, once he caught his air units with your Archon, I felt you were in a great position.
제가 좀 수비적으로 잘 안 가는 식으로
I originally played defense and don't move out much. I just decided to attack. It worked really well. And the way you used Dark Templar afterwards was very inspiring. And in the third set on match point that followed, you went for a Nexus first build.
제가 첫 판, 두 번째 판 하니까
Playing that first set and that second set, I realized, oh man, I cannot win this. It was so tough. I realized that I cannot play straight up in the third set. I said to myself, let's try and get at least some semblance of an advantage. I went for this gamble and it worked well. The fight at the 3 o'clock at the center went very well for you, especially with how you had a contingent of zealots at the 11 o'clock, splitting the Zerg army. Those zealots baited so many units for so long. I felt you must have prepared this sort of multitasking for today. How did you feel playing that game? It was a win as long as I pierced through that high ground. But it is a hill, so it wasn't easy to push through. I went for this zealot move and he followed with a ton of units, which let me push through and win. It clearly appears to be a season where you've made even more progress on top of what you've done before. With this round of 8, you're once again in a position where you have to push for a round of 4 for the grand final. What are you determined to do now? I pretty much always go to the round of 4, I go to the finals, but I've not been able to take it that one step further. This time I'll work hard and challenge for it. Many people will be cheering for you as you embark on this challenge this season. With your goals in mind, please address your colleagues and the fans. I've not been streaming recently, so big thanks to my fans for their patience. Thanks to our CADA members, my friends from the CADA University for coming here to support me, as well as our boss, and Queen, Effort, Speed, Motive. I also have an amateur practice partner called Sokhyun, and Rush, Sharp, Bishop, Snow is scratching his head. Are you having a hard time remembering? For helping me practice. You practiced so much, I get it. Right, thank you. Yeah, make sure to reach out to them individually after this. Once more, congratulations on making the round of 8. Thank you. We've just heard from Snow, our first player through to the round of 8 today. Let's now take a look at the special gifts we have prepared exclusively for you, our loving ASL fans, provided by Google Play. Go to the Google Play app now. Click on your profile menu in the top right. Go to the Redeem Code tab under the Payments and Recurring Payments tab. And get ready to input the code. If everyone is ready, I will go ahead and very clearly, articulately read the code out loud. Let's reveal the second code. Today's code is QPG8VXAJJ6A31. I hope you got it. Let me read it out once more. I see some people have already succeeded. Let me repeat the code. It is QPG8VXAJJ6A31.
네, 선착순 1000분에게 1,500포인트.
The first 1,000 people to input the code will receive 1,500 points. Keep watching the ASL until the end. We also have an event for people attending in person. We have a cheerful event in the round of 16. We're giving away a Razer Kishi V3, the new standard in handheld consoles for mobile gaming. Make a tasteful sign supporting the players, and you might be one of the 5 lucky winners of this giveaway. We hope you participate actively. We have just one ticket to the round of 8 left up for grabs today. Who will be the player to claim it? We will take a short break and return with the losers and decider matches.
Too many times I've listened to your words, poison for the mind, and you know that it hurts. Won't let you break me down. No, you won't stop me now. No, there ain't no stopping me getting higher, oh, higher, higher. No, there ain't no stopping me getting higher, oh, higher, higher. Oh, no, you won't stop me, no. No, there ain't no stopping me getting higher, oh, higher, higher. Too many times I've let you lead the way. Too many times you've led me astray. Won't let you break me down. No, you won't stop me now. No, there ain't no stopping me getting higher, oh, higher, higher. No, there ain't no stopping me getting One life, that's right, that's right. Open your mind, a new frontier, a brave, new world, no holding back, the future's here. That's right, that's right. No holding back, the future's here.
All right, guys, it's elimination time. Oregon versus Rain is coming up. Oregon getting smashed by Snow earlier. Rain getting smashed by Hero. I do think, despite both these guys losing pretty roughly, this is still a very Rain-favored matchup. I think Oregon's going to have a real hard time here tonight.
Yeah, best of three, it's going to be rough. But, you know, Rain is a player that you could potentially have a good plan for, right? If he can kind of figure out the type of way Rain wants to play. Rain doesn't have, like, the type of skill set that, like, a Bisu or Snow has, where I'm like, they're kind of invincible to cheese in the early game, you know? So who knows? Oregon is a good planner. He's a smart guy. He's the oldest guy ever in this round, and let's see what he can do. Match point to start. Oh, that's interesting. He's gonna, like, what's he gonna do against offensive gas Tastosis with his big sexy brain? I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, gas steal is just so likely here. Let's see what he does. You know, it's gonna be tough for Oregon. He is a good planner. But Rain is a very robust player. You know, very good at pretty much any situation you put him in. We're going to match point here. A very Protoss favored match here to start. If the game can go on long enough, I think Terran can maybe come up with something. You know, there's not a lot of bases on this map, but really, on a map like this, you got to watch the early game first.
Totally. If Oregon...
Rain in the bottom left, and excuse me, Oregon here, also known as Piano in the top right.
Yeah.
Rain is immediately setting a probe out here.
Yeah, you want to get that gas steal. There's no reason not to get the gas steal. It's just strong. Like a Terran, if you give him the option, will have you not gas steal them every time. You know, but 2-player maps are part of the game, and they tried on Litmus to make the second gas so that gas steal wouldn't be so crazy, but Litmus was a terrible map, so I don't know if that's actually like a good idea or not. Ooh, proxy gate as well. Well, this is, I feel like he's opening potential for this to work out for Oregon. Look at this. Oregon's going to go scout this immediately. Like, I mean, you just got to cancel it, right?
I don't know. This was like the way everybody did it, and then everybody stopped doing it. And I was saying eventually it's going to come back up, and here we are. So the idea is that you would run out there, make a gateway, put pressure on, and then run in there and take the gas. And it seems like, you know, this has always been a thing, whether you take the gas or not. These kind of proxy gateway pressure builds, they're very strong. But they have gone off quite a bit. I mean, nowadays, the standard way to play is to fast expand and gas steal, or gate pressure and gas steal. Not gate pressure like we're seeing here, but really gate pressure like you have a gateway. The same place we saw Snow put it in game 1. So Oregon is actually going to lose this SEV?
What?
Oh, what?
I don't even know, man. I guess he was paying attention to the probe in his main base. That's unfortunate, though. Sending a second SCV already was kind of goofy because you're not going to kill the pylon before the Zealot's out, but maybe you can stall the Zealot. But, yeah, the fact that a second probe came out and killed an SCV is pretty rough for Oregon. By the way, like, when there's a proxy gate, like, you can gas steal. There's nothing wrong with that. I think you should. But it kind of plays itself for Terran. If you find a proxy gate, you make a second Rax. That's like... That is the answer that has been figured out. No one tries to like kill the gas and take their own gas and go into factory. No, you go 2 racks, you make sure you can clear everything coming out of the proxy gate, and you get your factory when you can, or you do a cheesy all-in, of course.
Yeah, it's tough, but Terran can play this from here. The problem is that you've been denied your gas. Now, normally you see 1 gate into gas, so this is pretty cool to see Rain basically double gate here. I've actually not seen this variation, although I haven't really done this kind of cheese in a long time. Maybe this is what a lot of Terran or Protosses are doing, Artosis?
No,
tell me.
No, it's not. It's pretty uncommon, but he sees 2 racks, so it's okay to make the 2 gate. You just don't commit with the Zealots. What you do is you make it really difficult for Terran to come out with their Marines. So, like, for instance, when he has, like, normally what you do against 1 gate is you just get enough Marines where you're like, yeah, I'm going to kill every single Zealot. You bring a couple SCVs with you and you go do it. Here, generally, and now, see, he's committing a little bit heavy, but generally what you'll do as Protoss is to just keep making Zealots and go into Dragoons slowly but surely. And once there's Dragoons with that giant Zealot cloud, it's really hard to push through his Terran. Like, look at this right now. Like, he's trying to micro, but it's just... he doesn't have the right amount. We're getting very rain-favored very quickly here.
Yeah, I mean, you're happy to trade these Zealots in here, and you're totally right, Artosis. The reality is you can tech onto your gas, and they don't really have the bandwidth or the units to recover the gas themselves. They have to attack that with Marines. They got to kill it with SCVs, which need to be mining. The Marines have to be defending. So you're teching into... and really, it's the Dragoons that'll win the game. You can basically win this game with Dragoons in range.
Yeah.
So he finally kills the gas off. And remember, you know, the factory's got to be made somewhere, right? There's not actually that much room on this map, but it's not like Terran has control of the entrance, right? So you get enough Dragoons in here, they're just going to come and kill the SCV that's making the factory, or even snipe the tank as it comes out. And this is where Rain has to be careful. He doesn't want to overextend. SCVs have been pulled. Oregon's going to try to just come in here and fight back really hard. There's going to be 6 Zealots coming. 6 is a lot of Zealots.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damage inbound here.
Oh, boy.
And the SCVs can be mowed down very quickly. Oh, God. Oh,
yeah.
No.
I feel like I'm watching one of my own replays. I've had this exact game happen to me before. Recently.
Yeah,
it's like...
more Zealots than Marines now.
Well, this is the thing. Like, you can't be losing your Marines at all against this. When they go for that second gate, it's just 100% about scaling. You have to make such a cloud of Marines that the Zealots don't have a chance. And it's really hard to do, especially because, you know, they're going to go ahead and make the Dragoons. But if you lose basically any Marines, they're just gonna kill you. GG. These have been
that's that.
Unfortunately pretty embarrassing games for Oregon so far today. This actually is reminding me of Calm's games from the previous round. Remember Calm, like he had some cool ideas and then just died instantly twice. That's what Oregon's games are looking like tonight, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, he's in tear and hell right now. These are the most painful losses you can have in PvT. You know, obviously the gas steal, double gate. It's a very tough matchup in that position for the Terran to play it out. He got crushed. And then a very standard opening, you know, gate pressure from Snow. Snow just basically did the perfect maneuver and slit Oregon's throat and killed him.
Yeah.
So we're going to go into game 2 now. And Oregon, he needs to, I mean, at least try to paddle this game into some place that's going to look like a developing TVP here. I mean, this is a guy who hasn't gotten a second command center up in his games yet tonight.
That is true.
Okay, it's Rain in the top left and Oregon in the bottom left. And you know, let's see what exactly Oregon can come up with here. You know, there's nothing that says that either Snow or Rain have to end these games right away. But you know, the circumstances, whether they're the build order interactions or just the map and the way one race would play against the other one, we've had short games. But I want to see Oregon in a longer game, and I want to at least see Oregon in a game where he's going to try something he planned for and how it's going to look. Because I think he is a great planner, like Tastosis was saying.
Yeah. His decision-making in these games, though, has been slightly off. And it's only slightly. Like, the Protoss players are jumping on it. Right? Against Snow, he didn't start the bunker on time. You have to. You just have to. Against someone who's going double proxy gate, you just have to get the critical mass of Marines. You don't fight. You don't come out before you have it, because they need to be high health. You need to evaporate the Zealots, you know, and just keep going. And he just didn't do it. He was coming out trying to micro, like his micro was good and stuff, and if it was against one gate, that would have been fine. But it wasn't against one gate. Like, against one gate, you have to push faster because they're teching faster. Against two gate, you have to be patient, and you have to wait for your moment. And he just... It's funny to see because he's a smart player, like he's getting through on planning, but then some of the decision making in these games is just making him lose.
Well, he's in these really tough games, and you really have to like hit every note, every beat of the build order. You know, not by just I remember to do this and do that, but like I have to do this at this second perfectly, or I won't be in the next 30 seconds, a minute of this game. And some of that, I think, does come down to pressure. You know, Oregon, he's a really old school player, but he was always, I mean, how do I say this? I mean, he was just always overshadowed by other players. He was kind of like a stormtrooper, of the of the StarCraft universe. He was like a stormtrooper. It's just like a guy that would be in a tournament. He was good, but he would get killed off. And, the story went on, but I'm excited to see how well he's done this season. And there is something, I think, maybe because we're older and we've been playing forever, that when you see a guy who's finally kind of coming up and his planning is paying off, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
And it's nice because this game is so old. It's not like you missed your mark or it's too late. Like, the game's still here. It's always going to be here. So yeah, I mean, I hope we get more of a normal game. And by the way, this game looks like it should be that. Rain went for a gateway opening, probably in the gateway expand, unless we see some kind of a cheese. We'll know in a second here, but it looks like he's banking up to expand here.
And this is a really solid opener from Oregon, getting to scout his opponent first. He did make the second depot just in case, but no Zealot came, which means that he can just play this very easily. He doesn't have to rush to his bunker too fast if he makes 3 Marines. Look, when Rain darted in, they showed the vision there that he didn't see the command center. So he's actually scouting for a proxy. He's Like, he completely has no idea what Oregon's
Oh
doing.
my God.
Oregon's doing, like...
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you noticed that, Artosis. I was taking a drink of water, so I actually did not see that, but that's crazy. So this is like a pretty big fail here from Rain. It might not amount to anything, but he's running off of completely incorrect information.
Yeah.
It's funny, you know, StarCraft and a lot of the complexity doesn't just come from like you have to be doing all these things at once and you have to have this like deep understanding of these situations, but there's all this incomplete information, right? And every once in a while, and it really only happens with good players, but they scout something and they pull out too fast and actually end up with the wrong information. They scout something, and in his mind, he goes, there's no command center. Oh, my God, I'm being cheesed.
Yeah.
Or this is a two-factory, right? He might think that there's, you know, tanks being accumulated in pairs, and Vulture's going to come after that. And that can send you just on this, like, completely false set of assumptions about what the game's going to look like. And it can make for a very, very awkward mid-game.
Yeah.
So he's checked everywhere. He's going to come down with the... Dragoon again. And, you know, let's see what he can actually figure out here. He did go Obs, right? Or did he go for Reaver from here?
I believe he's going Observer. Well, I guess
I'm sorry,
his
the Robo's not even done. Well, we're going to find out.
Yeah. By the way, Oregon's opener here, there's some interesting things going on with it, right? So this is like the third greediest opener that Terran has. It's like kind of the safest greedy opener. And he's gotten away with it without any problem whatsoever. And in fact, Rain is putting on some range pressure, which normally is pretty good against this build, but because he has to stand slightly on some of that low ground area, he's not hitting every single shot, so it's not really that scary. But Oregon's opener, the way he did this, he accounted for range coming. So he got the second factory slower, was still able to get his second gas, and is going into siege right away. So, like, he's perfectly parrying everything so far. He's even got his missile turret just in case. Like, this is a very well executed gasless expansion. He's even going to put this on the high ground. This is what you do to be, like, super duper extra safe. Is you siege your tank up there as opposed to down there. If you siege it at the bottom, sometimes the goons can run in and snipe it. But he picks off a few SCVs, and... Yeah, like, this is a pretty standard looking game overall.
Yeah, and Rain's just going to expand again here. You know, he sees this was a fast expanding build. He had the 3 gates, I think, because he was worried about a rush. But, you know, even when you get the 3 gates, you don't have to make out of them, right? There's a lot of moments you kind of identify, oh, okay, so this isn't, you know, what I thought it was. We're going to park this. We're going to go back into making probes. We're going to get more tech. And we're going to use these gateways a little bit later. The Observer is going to come through here with a very clean scout. You can see literally everything that's there and everything that's not there. He does need to wait and just see, is there going to be a third factory or, you know, command center or tech of some sort. But, you know, we're getting into the kind of PvT we were kind of hoping to see, Artosis. One where, like, Oregon gets to at least do something that he planned for instead of, you know, trying to... You know, instead of a game where he goes, oh my God, my hair's on fire, tries to put it out.
Yeah. It's interesting the way he's playing this, by the way. Typically, it won't look like this, where you go the second factory, no add-on for a while, and get mines and lay mines defensively in your main base. Like, he's very, very well defended, but Rain is just taking a fast third, and there's no real intel for Oregon. Oregon's playing kind of single player here, and we don't know yet what his aim is, because he just keeps defending. It doesn't look like he's trying to get a super fast third. It doesn't look like he's trying to do a push, because like the 2 factory push timings have all kind of gone away. Like, he's got 5 tanks. Sometimes people do 5 tank pushes, but like, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what this plan is. Like, normally you'd be adding factories now. Okay, there they are. So he is going to go up to 6 factory. Okay, this is probably just going to be a two base push. I don't think he's going to try to set up a third base.
Yeah, it's interesting he planted the mines. He clearly thought maybe there was going to be a drop coming in here or something.
Yeah.
That doesn't... It's not the end of the world, but, like, those mines could have been used in fights. You know? Especially if you're going to just, like, power up on 2 bases. By the way, on this map, you know, that little low ground area... right where the Observer is sitting, it kind of dips down and goes back up. Dragoons can fight tanks really nicely when the tanks are over that. I guess he's not going to have an opportunity with these siege tanks setting up over here like they are now. But, you know, what he can do is kind of stall the Terran out, make it harder to kind of move out of this position here on this base, and just power up on 3 bases. And, you know, Rain's always had a very, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but a very basic approach to PvT.
Yeah.
Like, he plays a very safe game. He's going to get the Reaver now. This is going to pair really nicely with the Dragoons. And you can kind of just, like, chuck Scarabs and Dragoon shots into anything that's going to try to leave and buy time.
Yeah.
And behind this, you're making probes. You're getting a lot more units out of the gateways. And you're kind of looking for this, like, it's like a battle Protoss style. Like, you're going to try to just hit the push hard and weaken it and maybe take, like, a really late 4th base. But for now, you just make gateways. You're up 1 base. You're just going to power up. And you're looking for a fight.
Yeah, he's perfectly countering. Like, if I were to write down exactly on a piece of paper how to stop a 5 or 6 factory push, so you get your 3rd up quick, you force them to siege a little bit with the Reaver in the front, you get Zealot legs and 8 gateways. That is exactly how you hold a push like this. That is exactly what he's doing here. That's the nice thing about Rain's play. There's like a certain simplicity to it where you look at it and you just kind of nod and you're like, yep, that makes sense. That's what you're supposed to do. Now, that being said, you never know. Like, Oregon might control this push really well. There might be some miss micro from Rain. Maybe Oregon can still push through this. But this is exactly how you're supposed to hold on against this. So I feel like Rain is very, very favored here. Like, look, he's already forcing sieges. That's all you want. You force the sieges. Every siege you force, man, that's taking time up for Terran. And it gives you extra rounds of Zealots. Look at how many speed Zealots he has.
Yeah.
By the way, that is a huge amount of Goliaths. I can't believe how many Goliaths he made.
Yeah, well, I think he's got range and he wants to try to snipe whatever's going to be, you know, like that. He wants to try to hit the shuttle.
Yep.
He's going to kill the OBS. By the way, there's 2 more Reavers back at home. And, okay, I was about to say, he's going to have a shuttle with that here, too. Zealot speed is going to be done soon. And I think he's basically just trying to buy a little bit more time. Is the Scarab going to dud? Okay, hold on. We got another big move out here. He's forcing them to siege. Is he going to actually do this?
I'm surprised Rain is
going to go for it.
Attacking him right at the second.
I think he messed up.
Yeah. Kind of
I don't know
a
why
weird
the Zealots
push.
went in and the Dragoons didn't.
Yeah, right? Like, that was not well done from Rain. And in fact, it was weird that Oregon did that as well. Like, from both sides, I'm like, well, that was a weird kind of engagement. Oregon going to continue to come over this ramp. It looks like he'll finally get rid of the Reaver. But Rain is making a 4th Nexus. He's nonstop coming down. Look at this. He has a DT mixed in. A really nice touch there. Oregon has good supply.
Well, hold on a second. He's going to come in now. There should be Reavers inside of this, too. So if he could just drop these in between the shots with the Zealots, I mean, this is just going to be brutal, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he knows exactly what he's doing here. He's going to get some beautiful shots off. I think that's probably the end of this game here. I mean, he's basically now juggling the Reaver in between the shots. It looks amazing. And, you know, now we see, by the way, the 4th base being taken at the far top right. There's no command center. This is really how you beat a 2-base push. And, you know, like I was saying earlier, I think when the show started, I brought it up, actually. If you want to learn Protoss, Rain's probably just the best guy to follow. It's really straightforward. You don't have to be, like, you know, a god tier at the game for it to just make sense what he's doing. Like, he got Dragoons, he got the contain up, he realized, okay, this is going to be a 2-base all-in from Terran. I'll get a Reaver, and then I'll get, after my 3rd base is done, I'll get just mass Zealots with speed. He even messed it up and basically still crushed.
Yeah. You know, I think in everything in life, really strong understanding of fundamentals is the best thing you can have. It's really fun to watch, like, teched out builds like what Oregon showed last round, or a lot of Royal games, that type of thing, or mini playing, for instance. But, like, just the fundamentally playing correctly, following, like, the principles of StarCraft and doing the right thing and moving the units correctly. That's the highest value you can get, which is why it's so good to study Rain. And, like, he just... This was completely basic from him. It's just like, okay, I see that you're doing that push. Reaver slows you. I get legs and 8 gates. and then you just can't do anything. And now Oregon is in this position where it's like Rain can do basically anything from here. Oregon is in such a bad spot. Look at this. A ton of mines in there. Okay, great. But the mines are going to help kill the siege tanks as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, here he can just smash this. He's got Templars now with Psystorm. That's always the next step whenever you do this. And the Psystorms are going to blanket this so beautifully. And Oregon's dead. There's no way to get anything done from here. Protoss can keep growing, and Terran can't grow at all. And every time Terran moves out, more tanks are going to be killed off. Those tank numbers are going to get lower and lower. And I mean, Oregon, you know, he had a great run, but I think this is the end of his story for Season 21. These Zealots are going to come through here and just destroy everything. And Rain, I think, you know, as he always has, just, you know, sometimes the best players are not, like we were saying, Tastosis, not the ones that have the most teched out stuff. It's the ones that have kept the games so simple.
Yeah.
And so easy, and that's exactly what he did here. There was nothing fancy about it. He got a read early on. He played very safe. He went the exact correct tech route to counter what his opponent did, and then he controlled his units actually not that well, and still made it work.
Yeah. It was beautifully done. Well, that's the thing. There's more room for error if you're playing a fundamentally correct game. You know, like if you're doing the right thing. There, you can maybe make a little mistake in control or in a little blip in macro or something, because like strategically you're doing it right and your basics are all there, and that's, you know, that's what makes the greats great. Oregon is,
he looks incredible.
Yeah, Oregon's trying to make something happen here, but yeah, he already knows that he's dead, but he's trying to put up a good fight. Understandable, right? Like, you never know if he'll be back in ASL. It's been a really long time since he's been in ASL. Like, I can't remember what the last season he was in, but I think it was like maybe season 6 or something. Like, it was a very long time ago.
I think he was in one more season in between that. One or
maybe.
I feel like I have some memory of casting him somewhere in there.
Yeah. Well, he has been in a few, but it's just, it has been a while, right? He's been mostly doing like commentary and stuff, but
right.
Old commentating Terrans are, you know, they still got some spunk in them, Tasteless.
Yeah, they are.
Or I hope so, at least.
Some say they're the best, man, these old commentating Terrans. By the way, Oregon did get his third base up. You know, we were kind of dismissing his position in this game, but Rain did not pull the trigger. Now, Rain's taking a different approach here, and I think this is great. He's going to storm drop this area here. And, oh, is it just one Templar? Where's the rest of the Templars?
Yeah, you needed a second one there. A second storm would have killed like every SCV.
Yeah.
Instead, he just damaged a lot of them. Oh, there's the second.
There's some bad rally here with the gateways. A lot of times you're doing the 1A, 2A, or like you're, you know, all the way up the hotkey list. Sometimes you end up grabbing a gateway that you hotkeyed in the middle set of the numbers on the keys. And then you have like one gateway rally there the whole game, just hemorrhaging units. So, okay, let's zoom out here. Rain has not stopped the third base. This game does go on.
Yeah.
It is still very Rain favored. If you notice in this game, Rain is doing everything he needs to do to kind of secure this position now that we are in mid game. But we need to see more gateways probably in the top right if it were to be really comfortable. I think Rain is probably going to try to come in here for like a best style bust because he is so ahead. He should be able to make something work here. Although, my God, it's a lot of tanks at an angle that's hard to hit in here.
Yep. He does have a good, strong army here. A lot of his vultures are way, way out of position. But this is kind of how Rain plays. Like, when he gets ahead, he just tries to kill you. And this is pretty wasteful. You know, like, this was not a good attack by any means.
Well, there's no Templars with this.
Yeah.
Like, look at that just juicy chunk of tanks and vultures. Like, 2 storms on that would be incredible. And I gotta say, you know, Rain, you know, it's a bit of a Tulbo moment here. You know, he's being a little bit sloppy. He's had the game won. And see, there are the Templars there now. So a lot of times the idea is you would send like a shuttle or two with zealots and bomb the tanks and try to draw their fire as your units close in. But you do want to shuttle, and he's going to storm drop again. Like, you know, there's a lot of ways to close a game out. This is maybe not the cleanest.
No.
It's not like we're judging, you know, a diving competition where they have to do it perfectly. I mean, a win is going to be a win no matter what.
Yeah.
But this is kind of a clunky closer here. He's going to get another storm off. And, dude, Oregon's got a 4th base now.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you'll be playing these games, and it's, like, going so poorly, but you're not dead yet. And then your opponent really doesn't deliver. And that could be one of these games here. Like, I think Rain has very badly overestimated his position. The cannons are going to go down up here. Dude, now this looks like my games are toast.
Yeah,
This is me watching my replays where I'm just like, I should just quit this game. I hate this game.
Yep.
This is rough. He's losing probes at the 3rd base. Again, we have attacks that are like, you know, all tier 1 units that, you know, kill off half the army, and then storm drops, and then another attack with a bunch of tier 1 units, and then another storm drop, where it seems like there were 2 separate moments. You could have just combined the 2 into a force that would have obliterated at least the 3rd base. But now, you know, Terran is spreading like cancer here on the map if you're the Protoss. I mean, this is really, when they're on 4 bases and you already had a game where you stopped a 2-base bust, I mean, if you go back and look at what went wrong in this game, it was back when you let him take that 3rd base.
Even if he can force the 3rd base, the attack into it when Rain was basically maxed on 5 bases, where like it was just this bad attack move. Half his army went over the bridges. There's a million siege tanks there, clumps, 0 psi storms, as you pointed out. Like that was just a really, it's like Rain gets lazy when he knows he has the game won, and you can't do that. You know, he was so far ahead, and the thing is, you can see now he's starting to put the effort back in. I think this is something that can happen as well when you're a really talented player like Rain, where you're like, boring. Like, I've already done it, you know, and you're just like shipping it in and attack moving until your opponent dies. Like, he's still going to win this game, but it has not been clean.
No, it's been a very sloppy game, you know, after he got what we would say is the winning lead here.
Yeah.
Now he's going to come and watch the shuttle carefully. He's going to drop 1 Templar. Storm where he can. He's actually going to unload all of them like it's a storm drop. Beautifully done. And that's going to really soften that up. And once these zealots get up here, yeah, all these tanks are going to get blown up. He might have to back up with the Dragoons. You pretty much have to turn around after all the zealots die. Dragoons are not going to be doing that much damage unless you have like an overwhelming amount of them. But that move that we saw there, that's what we were basically looking for earlier to have what would close the game out. Uh-oh, bleeding out Templars here.
Yeah. Rain, you know, he removes so many tanks there. It's going to be really hard to refill for Oregon. Oregon, like, yeah, look at the supply. He's at half the supply right now, 76 against 146. Really, at this stage of the game, if you drop below about 150-ish supply as Terran, it's pretty grim. You just don't really have enough to do anything. GG is called, and that'll be the end of Oregon's run here in ASL. This round definitely not as impressive as the last, but a much harder round as well. Rain moves on to the final match.
That's right. This is going to give us one more match here for Group B. And this is going to be a fun one. It's going to be Rain going up against Hero. This is like a finals from the path, basically. I mean, you couldn't ask for more of a crazy PvZ, but Hero's looking very, very dangerous. Props to Oregon. You know, he had a great run here. I think it was a very disappointing day, but honestly, a lot of really tough games. And Rain's early game to shut down the 2-base timing, which was basically what Oregon was going for in that game. Oregon had no, aspirations for a 4-base game. That's kind of where it ended up.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, short break. Final best of 3 coming up next.
Falling off the deep end when we're not feeling the rush. Forget about the things that we would do when we're in love. I find it hard to not think of you. At the end of every day, I wonder why it's not enough to hold you in my arms and feel the break from in my lungs. I find it hard to not think of you. Oh, I don't wanna feel it if you don't wanna feel it. But I've been feeling close to you, even when I'm not close to you, close to you. Oh, I don't wanna feel it if you don't wanna feel it. But I've been feeling close to you, even when I'm not close to you, close to you. Falling off the deep end when we're not feeling the rush. Forget about the things that we would do when we're in love. I find it hard to not think of you. At the end of every day, I wonder why it's not enough to hold you in my arms and feel the break from in my lungs. Finding it hard to not think of you. Oh, I don't wanna feel it if you don't wanna feel it. But I've been feeling close to you, even when I'm not close to you, close to you. Oh, I don't wanna feel it if you don't wanna feel it. But I've been feeling close to you, even when I'm not close to you, close to you.
All right, everybody, this is it. Hero versus Rain. I think we can all agree, no matter who moves on here, it's going to be hype.
Yeah.
I mean, these are truly 2 round of 8 players.
Oh, that's for sure. In fact, round of 4, more likely for these two. Yeah, I'm very excited to see who ends up taking this. I'll be honest, I was leaning towards Rain before, but I felt like Hero was playing really well, even from bad positions against Snow. It feels like Hero's in good shape here today, so I'm not so sure who's going to end up taking this.
I think Hero looks a lot stronger.
Yeah?
At least from what we saw with Rain. I think that last game was a little bit worrisome. I mean, Hero played a really good game against Snow and barely lost. So Rain's going to have to really bring it. I think he's someone who can bring it. But, you know, there are few players in the entire, over a quarter of a century history of StarCraft that are stronger than Hero, especially right now. He's been consistently very, very good. Okay, we got Hero in the top left and Rain in the bottom right.
That's right. Before this game really gets going, we do want to suggest that you guys walk over to patreon.com/ASL English. A big thanks to everyone who has subscribed. You guys are how we keep this thing going, and a big thanks to everyone who's done that again. Like, truly, you guys are amazing. The community is awesome, and this is the best game ever. So thank you for helping us keep it alive.
Yeah, guys, we really appreciate it. we love doing this and we want to keep doing it forever, you know. And the best part is we can keep doing it forever. You know, this game's in a state that no game has gotten to yet, and it's always going to be ahead of that. You know, if another game does catch up to it, because like it's the oldest OG esport and it's still popular.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of games it's like the third year of their esport, and they're like, oh my god, is it dying? Or like, what does this mean? And what about this new game that came out? This game doesn't have to worry about any of that. So we're gonna be here forever. And yeah, we want to just keep doing this. Patreon.com/ASL Inc. We love you guys.
Yeah, I actually
into this game.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I wonder in like 100 years, right, where, basically everyone that's a Brood War fan right now, let's say we're all dead in 100 years, is there going to be a completely new crop that still loves the game?
It's a good question. You know, I guess first of all, I don't think the pros are going to be stopping as they get older, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're going to have pros in their 50s easily.
For sure.
Right? I mean, if you're going into your 40s doing this, I don't know why the 50s would stop you, or even maybe the 60s, but they do have these programs to recruit a lot of younger people. I mean, the bulk of the people that are playing now are older. I would assume if there's an ecosystem with money and it's popular, it'll be there in one form or the other. But it's going to be up to the older generation to kind of pass the torch down to the younger generation. You know, I mean, they've done it with chess, they've done it with other games that, you know, have been played through generations, but yeah, you know, I think it's going to come down to, you know, who would fill that in. And by the way, I think there's enough material information now. And imagine how good people are going to be in 10 years. The game should be good enough. There should be a draw for it. I would also imagine League of Legends will always be here, and some of these other games that are just gargantuan out here.
Yeah, I think so. And it definitely feels that way with a few fighting games too. So, taking a look at this, cross spawns here. Pretty quick gas from Hero once again before that third hatch. He's going to go ahead and make a third hatch at 12. And a good block here from Rain. That cannon is kind of funnily way on the side. What is with that cannon placement? It feels odd to me.
So this is partially, you know, the pylon placement. I've seen this on some Protoss wall-ins where instead of putting the pylon touching the nexus in the back, you have it like all to one side or all to the other side. I would think you could still put the cannon further back. I don't know about the cannon where it is right now. I personally always like having the one cannon placement further back.
Yeah.
So that it's harder for the Hydras to hit. It's kind of like, it's like the cannon in the back covers the cannons that could warp in the front, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it's a layer from Hero, so, you know, that might not come into play. Doesn't look like he's trying to be tricky at all. It is cross map anyways, so that does make any rush kind of, you know, a bit weaker. You can scout it more easily with the Corsair going across, and you simply have more time before the Hydras get across. So maybe a macro game coming out of Hero here. And I think this is going to be a great test for Rain. Show, can he play that just really strong, normal macro game like we saw from Snow on Sylphid?
He's going to send the probe back again. These Lings are doing a great job just hunting this down. He did slip a Zealot out. There's a lot of techniques if you go Forge first to basically still get a scout off, and usually it's paired with a Zealot and a probe both being active on the map, and it's kind of crazy to see. I mean, he just got the Zealot out. I don't think there's anything ready for the Zealot at all. I don't know how this happened. Okay, he's sending a couple Lings back here, so he must know something, but, you know, right now I'm looking at it, I'm like, I just see drones hatching, man.
Yeah.
But the Zealot can probably just run right into the main and confirm that, and then just run behind the minerals, and he should be fine.
Yeah. Seems like really good usage of that Zealot. The Ling's going to eventually catch up to it. He sees the Spire go down right in his face. Anytime I see someone throw a building down right in my face, I get very paranoid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're like, this guy's so good.
Well, it's like... when I used to play tournaments against In Control, that's what he would do. He'd like throw a Hydralisk den down right in front of my scouting SCV to make sure I saw it and then go mutas or something. I'd be like, God
oh,
damn
yeah,
it.
he did that to me a lot, too. I was like, oh, you idiot. You're going to make a Hydra den against me? And then I just died of mutas. I had the exact same stuff happen to me.
So whenever I see that, I always have flashbacks to losing tournament games where I'm like, well, clearly this is Mutalisks. It's like, no, it's absolutely not.
So he's going to go for that Spire. I mean, when you see the Spire, that is the most normal thing. And the Spire just means Scourge at the start. It gives you the option to go Mutas later on, but you basically need to have some Scourge to try to chase away the Corsairs. And then the game cools off a bit because you both have the, kind of natural counters. The Protoss can't die to Mutas. The Zerg can't lose Overlords to Corsairs. And almost all PVZs kind of look like this now because the matchup has been sorted in a lot of ways.
Yeah, this is really kind of stock standard here. I do wonder if Hero is going to be ending up going for the Muta Scourge that he went for against Snow. It didn't seem like it worked that well against Snow. Maybe against Rain it would be a bit stronger. But I would caution Hero there because Rain has a very specific style in PvZ. Like, he really likes a really strong mid-game push with lots of Dragoons in it. So I think you could go wrong if you tried too hard to, get into those mutas and they didn't end up working. Oh, he wants it so bad.
So crazy.
My God. Let's see. Dude, this is like Top Gun right now. Come on, Maverick. You can do it. Get out of here. How is he going to do it? Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's going to try to just box him in here. This is very taxing on both sides. He's going to just jettison this right through. He's going to scout with this. I think he's basically decided this is like a foregone conclusion.
He might be able to get through the middle there. No. Okay. Scourge are very funny the way they move, guys, where, if you turn suddenly, if the Zerg isn't manually microing them the whole time, they kind of stall out and you gain distance on them. So there's all sorts of different little tricks that you can do, but yeah, that's why Tastosis said that was really taxing. I know it looks like it's not, but seriously, it is.
It's just like 2 units going in a straight line. You're like, yeah, Tastosis, very taxing.
But it's the truth.
He's going to come down. This egg blocks really nicely, and he's going to go for the egg. What? This is crazy. Wait. Is this going to work? Oh, my God. This can't work, right?
Oh.
Okay.
Well, I don't even understand. It almost felt like he didn't see the Overlords. He's like, that's an Overlord egg. I'm going to target it. But yeah, he's just sending DTs and Zealots across to attack. It's kind of crazy to see. He ends up killing all the units that were there and forces everything out. Look, he has a second DT. Is he literally just rallying DTs across the map and trying to kill everything with them?
Yeah, I've seen Mini do this, and it's really weird looking. Like when I see it actually done. But the DTs, it's funny. StarCraft 2 DTs just die.
Yeah.
Like if it's almost like if they're not invisible, they get killed or something.
Yeah.
they lose all their HP. It's like the EMPs that reveal their shields just kill them.
Yeah.
StarCraft 1 DTs can actually take a little bit of a fight.
Yeah.
I think the first player that really showed that, and this is a name we haven't talked about in forever, but Anytime.
Oh yeah.
Had some of these weird games where he would go 3-gate DT against Zerg and just send the DTs and there'd be Overlords, they'd see everything, but the DTs would kill a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this used to bust a base. I've seen 6 DT runs where you hit a bunch of locations, and if the Zerg's actually too spread out, they get beaten down pretty badly.
Yeah.
But in that case, I mean, he did okay. He killed some drones and killed some Hydras, but the Zerg still has a third base. They're going to be okay.
Relatively quick Robo coming up at home, adding a few cannons as well. His Speed Zealots keeping good tabs at least on everything, right? Whether they get damage or not, he's doing a very good job here of keeping Hero in check. Starts to go after that Evolution Chamber, but does decide to turn around. Yeah, not going to trade too favorably right here. But we'll get a few.
With the Corsairs here, it could be pretty good if you can take out the Overlords. They came in a little bit late, but you're still doing damage. I mean, oh no, the Scourge are going to come up. And I think he can actually get this one before he can get home. These Corsairs are kind of stuck over here now. Losing the Corsairs when it's one of these games is disastrous. You have to remember the Mutas, they can come out of as many larvae as you could make them from. But the Corsairs only come out of 1 Stargate. It's why 1 Stargate games are so different than 2 Stargate games.
Yeah.
So when you see all the Corsairs killed, it's bad, man. It can be a game where you lose any ability to do anything in the mid game here. And he's actually going to come up now. He's actually storming this. He's going to lose both Templars. The Mutas are going to get out. Oh, Tastosis. It is so painful. Hero's in great shape.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very sloppy there from Rain losing those Corsairs, unfortunately. Good Muta switch as well. Like, it felt like Rain was doing just fine until those Mutas showed up and the Corsairs were all dying. Well, another group of Speed Zealots over here will cancel this hatchery out, so that's a nice little counter move that he makes. But having already lost a couple High Templars does make this a trickier game for sure.
Yeah, so now things are going to get worse here. Rain, he has to try to make something happen. The problem is that, when you really throw a lot at the Zerg early on and it backfires, you've given up so much material. Again, the Corsairs not being here is a problem. I didn't actually see at the Stargate. I don't know if you caught the Tastosis, but is he making more Corsairs?
I didn't see. Yeah, not sure.
Because you have to address these Mutalisks. He has 2.
No, I guess
so
not.
He's kind of stopped, actually.
Well,
yeah,
that makes me even more nervous for Rain in a way, because he hasn't made a Dark Archon. And we talked about this style before, where you just go back and forth between Mutas and Hydras, where all you have to do is snipe a few High Templars, and then your ridiculous Hydra Swarm is too strong for the basic gateway units. Like, you need Storm to battle Hydras. So if you can eliminate some of those Storms with the Mutas, it's incredibly strong. This feels like domination from Hero. In fact, look at the supply. 125 to 121 right now. This early in the game. That's really good for Zerg.
No, Hero is in such a good spot. And Protoss doesn't have any muscle here. Like, first of all, you know that Hydras are going to be made in a high amount. Now, he's hitting the Templars. Are there any Templars here? This is actually kind of genius. He's basically baiting the Mutas to come out here and try to fight, and they're just taking damage. But there should be Templars. They must. Okay, so he's got, I think, 1 or 2. I think 1 is hiding almost completely under the Robo.
Yeah, you can't click on that. You can't
and he has a
target
third one hiding under the gate. So he's got some ideas.
Yeah.
That was kind of smart. He runs out. The Mutas have to try to fly in and find something, and there's nothing there, and so they just take damage. You can wait until maybe Armor 2 is done. That's when the Mutas, you basically just make more Templars, and, the Templars are much harder to kill when there's +2 armor.
And you can see he's hiding things behind the buildings. Yeah, this game, it's funny like that. There are places you can put things where they can't be targeted, right? Like, if you burrow a Lurker right above an Extractor, you can't irradiate it. If you put a High Templar somewhere like that, you can't click on it with Mutas.
This is what they call 2.5D, which is the perspective the game's in. So there's it's not truly like isometric. Like, oh, he sees it. Can he actually? He's trying to target the Templars there. Yeah, I'm so glad you pointed it out, Artosis. You can't actually click on those units.
But look at this Hydra Swarm coming in. He has so few High Templars left over, and the Mutas dive in to get some more. He's going to have almost no Storms. This game's over, Tasteless. This was domination by Hero.
Yeah, I mean, Hero, I think, is going to come in here and wipe him. Again, kind of cool ideas, but honestly, poor execution here from Rain. 6 DTs is exciting. That's a lot of gas. That's a lot of your tech not really going anywhere.
Yeah.
Seeing him do it makes me want to try it, see what I could do with that.
I bet it catches a lot of people off guard.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it does. Zealots are strong in some ways, but, Zealots there, then a couple of DTs. Just doing 40 damage a swipe on a sunk. Oh, my God. 1 hitting Lings, 1 hitting drones. Like, you just get that. And then, if you break the core defense, like the sunk and a few Hydras, suddenly the DTs are just murdering everything. But it didn't work. And then I think the biggest thing was he just lost the Corsairs. He was too ambitious with his Corsairs the whole time, where I think he needed to be a lot more conservative and a lot more careful.
Yeah. Well, you have 6 DTs on the map. You kind of want to kill Overlords, but didn't work out for him. Hopefully he can clean it up here for this next game. Going to be on Sylphid.
Great map for these guys to have game 2 on. I do feel like Hero just seems to be a lot stronger today. Let's see what Rain can do. Sylphid, a great map for PvZ. Is it going to be a Gate Expand, Forge Expand? Is Hero going to possibly do a Hydra Bus? Let's find out. And again, guys, whoever wins this gets the 4th spot in the top 8. It's been a very Terran-heavy season. But right now, we're either going to get a Zerg or a Protoss to move on. The Protosses have been very low in numbers this season. We already saw Snow move on, so we actually have Snow and Tulbo.
Yeah.
In the round of 8, which is kind of crazy. And then wait, I just casted this with you yesterday. Why am I? Who got out of the group in Group A?
In Group A, Soma and Tulbo.
Soma. I'm sorry. How did I not know that? I was like, literally
the
24
champion,
hours ago.
Taste is the champion.
Soma got out. So right now we don't have any Terrans, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
We'll have at least 2 because of Group D, and I think Flash is going to get on, but
most likely
we'll see.
And yeah, don't forget Bisu and Jadong still get to play after this group.
Yes.
So either one of them could absolutely make it out. Yeah, I guess we're actually. So if. Wait, there's one Protoss, one Zerg already through. Yeah, so we get golden ratio literally no matter what now. It's going to be
crazy is that?
It's going to be 3-3-2 no matter what. It doesn't matter who gets through from here on. That's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Perfect game.
Oh wait, no, I guess Ample could make it out with Flash. And that would screw it up, but like, I mean, come on. Poor Ample. Yeah, that's not a group that he should be making it out of, most likely.
Yeah, I mean, he might. We'll see.
It's
We've
possible.
had, Telbo getting out. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
here.
yeah, true.
So Rain did an early scout and saw, he sees the pool coming down here, so he's going to go ahead and get his forge. And this was a 9 pool, by the way.
Do you always make 2 cannons here against the 9 pool?
I believe so. I was just talking to my stream about this earlier because people don't 9 pool anymore.
Yeah.
So and then one guy did it to me in my last game, and I'm like, "What are you supposed to do against this? Like, no one does this anymore." I believe the correct move is 2 cannons.
Yeah. Pretty sure.
Because one cannon, if they get up to 8 lings, they just run by. Okay, well that answers it. 2 cannons there. They are tucked kind of to the side here. It makes me a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, he's been doing that today.
Run by. I mean, it's probably fine, but when lings can run by and get up into that top right area, it's kind of scary. Seeing the extractor here would make me very nervous about the direction of this game as Rain.
Sure.
Because that usually means there's a lot more teching to come here. They're very low on drones. He's going to put 3 on gas. Let's watch and see, is it going to be a layer? Is it going to be speed? Could it even be something weird like a den? There are a couple of absolute mudman dirtbag cheeses that are just cheeses from it's like killer clowns from outer space. Like it's so insane.
Yeah.
Totally.
Totally.
There's he could go for like 2 hatch lurker with lings and bust the entrance. There's just a point in time where you're like, how many things do I have to possibly have in my mind that I could be ready for? So he's going for a layer. So the most common tech, if you were to follow all the history of StarCraft, when they do this, would be a spire.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be. And a lot of players will kind of play, even if you can't scout their natural and their main, but they don't have a third, you're going to assume there's a layer, but then it's like, what kind of layer tech is it going to be? The probe did get behind. How did he get that through?
How did
he get that probe over there?
He went over the bridge into the mineral area just before the lings got there.
Okay,
and that's
so
going to be huge.
He doesn't see this coming at all.
Yeah. This scout's going to see absolutely everything. And yeah, there is a 3 lurker all in, by the way, but it doesn't look like he's doing that.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Yeah. So
yeah, I don't think so.
I'm sorry, Artosis. I'm like too excited
okay.
here. He's got the probe scouting here so that as the cybernetics core finishes, he'll know exactly what tech to make. So he's like looking. He's like, okay, there's no third base. He's gonna go check down at 6. And he can make a Stargate. I think now it is Spire, by the way.
Yeah.
So what he should do is probably, if you try to scout inside the main of the Zerg and then make a second Stargate.
Yeah. That seems like it would be like a super duper hard counter to this. You do have to be careful and make sure that you make an extra photon cannon in your main base and your natural there. Ooh, he wiggles in. Well, that's too bad for you.
He gave Artosis his piggy squeal. I do my piggy squeal too. Sometimes I go, wee! See a great move. My tail curls up.
That's right. I just want to roll in some mud right now. Ooh.
Yeah, I just want to roll. I start eating out of my trough. I go, wee!
Yeah.
It's a drone block.
Oh, my God.
So he sends the 2 zealots out here. He goes, oh, you don't have almost anything. And, you know, this is great because you're going to force out a couple of Lings. 2 Zealots can... I mean, he's getting actually pretty bad pairings here. 2 Zealots can win this. And, you know, anything you can force... Because you don't have a lot of larva, right? I mean, anything you can force out is going to be worthwhile. He's going to run down. I think he's going to try to dive on a drone if he can.
Yeah, I won't quite get anything there. You know, the Spire's finished, but he had to use a lot of that larva on the Zerglings. And... Wait, is there not a second Stargate? He doesn't want to go second Stargate.
We like decided that that's what he got the scout, and then we decided that what he should do, and we're like, this is the W for us. I'm so glad he's gonna go double Stargate. He actually went just one. By the way, you can go just one, and it's fine. It's not wrong. That is a way to play against this.
But does he do that thinking because it got scouted that Hero won't commit to the mutas? Is that the thought process? Because it feels like if he goes mutas, yeah, if he goes mutas, the double Stargate's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Like, I've had games where, you know, I scout it and I throw a second Stargate down and they just go Hydras and I'm just, like, sitting around with these, all these great units that can't attack the ground and they lose the game. So, you know, this is also a totally acceptable way to play it. You can just go for, like, kind of the most common comp in PvZ, which is, like, +1 attack Zealots, +1 attack Corsairs, and fight it. You just have to play a more careful early game because if they did get the jump on you, with the Mutalisks, you're not going to be ready. Yeah. But it doesn't look like he's making any mutas. And he's, you know, Hero's so good at kind of switching the direction of his tech and making it almost look like he meant to do it all along. But he basically ditched the Spire tech entirely. And this almost looks like it's a 3-hatch layer Spire build anyways. He just threw down the hatches. He's so good at, like, just transitioning into a completely different game.
Totally.
And that's kind of what you got to do. You know, when you're cheesy tech gets spotted, Zerg always have an alternative tech they can take.
I gotta say, by the way, I was watching while you were talking that whole time. I was watching that Corsair, and he randomized its movement so well. He got right past. There was 4 Scourge out there hunting for him, and he just randomized and randomized, and then came in at a funny angle at a funny time, and got past everything. By the way, mutas are being made. You should have gone the second Stargate, Tasteless.
That's crazy. So he let him, so he gets scouted, and now he switches back into tech. I can't believe it.
Yeah. There are quite a few Corsairs out right now.
It's Ogre Zerg Gamer, but like a 2-headed Warcraft Ogre. I can't. So that's so sick. Because right now you're like, okay, he probably stop at 5. Oh my God, he's going to intercept this on the way over in the Scourge. You're going to hit. Oh my God.
Not every day you see mutas look for the Corsair fight, but definitely here. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's crazy. The Zealots get shut down. Rain might just lose here, man. This is like going... I mean, this is just like this fun house of crazy looking mirrors, and Rain has no idea like what's going on in the game.
Yeah.
Every bit of intel he gets, he just ends up getting punished, you know? Like, it's almost like, oh, you just shouldn't even scout this guy. You're better off just guessing what he's going to do and playing that way. You might get lucky and counter him. Man. So I have to imagine that Air Armor got upgraded.
You'd think so, if he's going to do this. But he might have been actually planning on canceling it, and then he just realized that he was open to do it. So maybe he doesn't. But if he doesn't have air armor, like the +1 Corsairs are just going to shred.
Yeah. Only Zerg can do this, by the way.
Oh, he does.
These, like, weird total tech shifts because they can just sit on larva and their buildings don't wiggle when they upgrade.
Yeah.
So, like, it's pretty hard to get information on that.
That is the one thing that makes me think StarCraft actually was an unfinished game, is that none of the Zerg buildings show you if they're making anything or upgrading anything. And half of the Protoss buildings don't.
Part.
Yeah, and every Terran building does. So I'm like, Terran feels the most finished, has the most different damage types, everything blinks, everything shows you that it's producing. And then Protoss is half and Zerg is none. And I'm like, did they just push this out because it was a deadline? You know?
Yeah, I mean, most certainly. That's probably what happened. Okay, so the Corsairs are out. And the mutas aren't able to really do that much. Rain's basically staying back. I don't see any lurker eggs yet. It's kind of hard to tell. I think if it's 6 hatch, it's probably just going to be mass Hydra. But, you know, if it's going to be a Hydra Lurker, you know, there's enough Corsairs that you can't just snipe the Templars. So that's one thing he's got going for him.
Well, that is a big flock of mutas flying around the center. Looks like Rain going to take his third base here at that little pocket expansion. Now, don't forget the pocket expansion. The gas is like 3,000, right? Yeah, I believe it's a 3,000 geyser and then 1,000 mineral patches. So that's considerably less than regular, right? A regular mineral patch is 1,500. So you run out of this base really, really quickly. So you can take it, but you can't treat it like a normal third where you can sit on it for a really long time.
So the mutas are going to come up here. We got a lot of Dragoons to defend. One thing about when they go mass mutas, you can kind of like just rush out a base sometimes. You can even do it. I've seen people do it on 4 gates. I've even seen Mini do it on 2 gates where it's like he just sees its muta tech. You're like, oh, I'm just going to run here and make cannons and just defend this. And that's why we don't see like a kind of proper army of like Templars and Dragoons are out here.
Yeah.
You just kind of rush this out while they're going for the Hydras. Because once you have like cannons, Corsairs, and Dragoons, like the mutas can't really stop you from taking a base. Whoa, we almost kind of ran into that one, tried to headbutt those Scourge with the Corsair.
It was an excellent Scooby-Doo impression there, Tasteless. Yeah, High Templar's coming out to this third base now.
It unlocked my Scooby-Doo sound. I can't believe it.
I haven't heard that one in casting before. Ruh-roh, Artosis.
Oh, ruh-roh, Artosis. Yoink, Scoob. These Corsairs almost got taken out.
Ooh, that was a good storm.
Yeah, and that unlocked the I sat on my balls sound. I mean, we're getting all the sound effects here.
Yeah.
He lost all the Scourge to that Psy Storm, and he's going to try to come down here and push. I don't know. Can he actually come down here and do this?
Oh, well, this is how Rain likes to play.
Right.
Like, he always is doing these weird Dragoon timing attacks. Looks like, I think the Lurkers just parry him back because he doesn't have the Observer. But, like, that's the type of attack that Rain is always hitting. He's always coming in at different times than other Protosses with more Dragoons than expected. And a 4th base! Look at the speed of that 4th base!
That's so greedy.
That's crazy,
That's interesting
man.
because I guess he doesn't know the hype is coming. From what I understand, and to be honest, there's a lot I still don't understand about this game, but I always thought that if you see that they are going for a hive, you want to push it. Maybe he hasn't seen that yet, but usually if they're going to sit on layer, you just keep upgrading, and the game, it kind of switches to where like Zerg has to kill you. But if they go for hive, then you have to kill the Zerg. I mean, the game will go on if you don't, but it's sort of like, you know, that seems to be where the burden of the matchup would lie, is like, well, now you need to get in here and try to kill him before the Defilers come out.
You know, the position actually looks kind of similar to the Snow hero game on this map, where it was like Hive and Snow had these 4 bases.
Yeah.
Maybe Rain's looking at that and like, oh, I can do that. I can roam back and forth and maintain cost efficiency.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, Zerg's not going to deny that base. Defiler Tech's not available to Dark Swarm that yet. We're going to see one of these like really entrenched Lurker defense positions.
Yeah.
But I think this is pretty healthy here for Rain. Ooh, nice Psy Storm. Really good.
That was juicy. Look at that. Oh, man, these storms are good.
That was great. Oh, my God, and the Corsairs are still doing work over here?
Yeah.
That's crazy. The problem now is that, you know, it's 4 base to 4 base, which is really bad for Zerg. Zerg can make it work for a little bit, but you have to know, like, you're going underwater pretty quickly here. Now Zerg needs to, like, ideally get... I mean, the best move would be to get the natural at the left. The problem is on a 3-player map, the Protoss kind of knows that, and they can play a positional game to deny that.
Yeah.
It's much harder if you're cross spawns and it's a 4-player map and there's 2 naturals.
For sure.
Then you need to have like double the DTs or Zealots running around the map. But, you know, Zerg can eventually get away with it. Nicely done. Takes out some more Lurkers. Where is Templars, though? It's like a PvT army here.
Yeah, it seems to me that because it's Lurker, he knows that he can always run away. I think he's purposefully roaming like this. Where, like, oh, if it gets bad, he can pull back to his High Templars. But the Dragoon Zealot, like... It's not like the Lurkers are going to trap you, you know? Like, the Lurkers are there, so he runs up, he picks off what he can, he pulls back. I like the way that he's moving his army around. Like, I really like this type of hyperactive Protoss army that's looking to shave off units on the side.
Yeah, I think you just try to take anything you can hit. I gotta say, Hero's so fluid with his lurkers, it almost makes me nervous. I guess that, you know, the idea is that you can't even do any counterattacks because the moment that you unburrow, right, it's almost like siege tanks and sieging, right? You're just gonna run in there, and try to hit him again. I think that Rain also plays a lot of these late games kind of the same way that Snow does, which is you just, this is pretty much how a lot of players play it, but basically the Reaver tech's later, like we're seeing now, right? Like the first shuttle in the game's been made. And you're pretty much just trying to storm, and not trade anything. Just storm stuff down, and over time, you're going to get more value here. So he's probably going to come in here and then just chuck a few storms down and probably back up again.
Oh, yeah, backing up. He's coming down the side, though. Plague's starting to come out, which is very nice. But I think Rain is just doing such a good job with these engagements. Like, he's not overcommitting. Yeah, he's getting plagued a little bit, loses a few units here and there, but he's hitting some good storms. He's being really hypermobile around the map, which is great to see. And look at this, setting up another gas expansion here on the right side. Hero has no idea about that.
Yeah. But Hero's going to try to make the leap over here. This is big, because if Hero gets this base, these two bases on the left, we're going to be here all night. Like, this is going to be a really long game, because that's just such a bigger income, and it's so much harder to push. By the way, I know that we saw Snow do it, but I just feel like drops are so great on this map, even if it's like a 4 Zealot drop. But, you know, at best, 4 DTs in the Zerg's main is so good. Oh, hold on. Oh, never mind. I'm like, oh my God, he's doing what I talked about.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Ooh, snipes the Defiler with that Reaver. I love it. I love to see it. The Reaver's being utilized really well here from Rain. Don't forget, though, like, utilizing these Reavers, they're very strong, they're very good, but they're really micro-intensive, and they shoot very slowly. So it's like, it is hard to use them in these battles and keep up everywhere else.
He's going to do a huge counterattack. You know what's crazy about PvZ in games like this? Sometimes this is actually where you want to hit, is the natural, because there's not that many cannons. And it's like, you'd be amazed how many games you can lose where, like, they just get everything here, and then you can't get new stuff outside of your base. And you don't necessarily have a huge army on the map right now as Protoss. Like, you've got, you know, Templars and all this other stuff. But I think right now, honestly, it's probably not going to work for Hero. And, you know, now I think Rain's close to just winning the game.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
We have seen it where the natural attack does work, and a lot of times if you just get in there, and sometimes you can, if you have enough cracklings, you can go into the main and kill everything, but not this game.
And Rain was able to kill a base during that time as well.
Yeah, and Hero doesn't know about the center right. I think there's a blind spot in his vision.
You're right. He definitely does not see that. He has an Overlord kind of near it, but not quite in position. Some great storms go down as the Lurker Hydra tries to run up and burrow on top of these Dragoons, but definitely very efficient there for Rain. And, oh, that shuttle got picked off. I think there was 2 Reavers in that shuttle.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Rain's deliberately, waited to transfer until it was safe to send that over there. So he's going to do that now. I think Hero's almost dead. By the way, Hero knows now about this base, which is probably just so painful.
Yeah.
In a moment like this, because, you know, Protoss is never really supposed to get this big in PvZ. Rain's kind of played a pretty cool, like, mass expanding guerrilla game of just kind of like harassing and poking in different places and taking storm shots when he can.
Yeah.
And even when one base falls, I mean, this is like a 5, it was 6 base, but like a 5 base Protoss versus a 4 base Zerg. Zerg's going to run out of minerals at all of those bases pretty soon now, too. Oh my God, he's going to drop over here, too. I didn't see, did he get the Scarab damage?
No, he didn't. And that's like the 3rd time that the Observer has checked it. Like, I bet you this Observer's a Protoss. He really likes Scarab damage.
I think so, yeah. He's like, I get Scarab damage. Let me see if he does what I do. No? Okay.
Yeah, Rain is in complete control of this game. This looks really terrible for Hero at this point.
Yeah, I can't believe Rain doesn't have Observer speed this whole time.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, isn't it?
Yeah. So he's going to come down now, and I mean, these Reavers, he should try to save them, but I guess it's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Notice that there's no more Dragoons. When you see the Defiler tech, it's Zealot, Archon, Templar, and then you go into Reavers.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one big tech shift. When it's on layer tech, it's Zealot, Templar, Archon, Dragoon. But the Dragoons have no utility. Oh, he needs to storm this, please God. Okay.
As you wish, Tasteless.
As you wish. Yes, Tasteless. Consider them dead.
Dude, so many Archons in here with these Zealots. Just craziness. And look at this setting up a drop here for that main base as well. I think it's just a matter of moments before we see GG from Hero.
It's a matter of moments indeed. He's going to come in. This is kind of funny. He's going to go to the base at the very bottom. I thought he was going to go to the main. I guess there really isn't anything over here. Oh my God, this is so low. Oh, woo!
Beautiful side storm there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so much damage.
Oh, okay. Whoa, he's hitting this base too? Oh yeah,
he's
just storm
everywhere. Okay, Hero's definitely got a GG here. He really has nothing left at this point. He's got like no drones mining except at the natural. His main is empty. Rain has a lot. Well, I guess he only has 2 bases with minerals left at him, but that's more than enough. GG. And that means we're going to go to game number 3.
Wow. That was a long, arduous fight. We're tied up 1-1, guys. We don't know who's going to move on here. But Rain played a really... honestly, both those guys, the late game was crazy, but the early game was something else. That was some of the most complicated tech switching I've ever seen in a ZVP. Like, he went from 2-hatch layer, and Rain was doing some crazy scouting moves. It gets spotted. He ditches it and basically just switches into, like, mass hatchery with Scourge. It gets scouted again by, again, crazy maneuvering with the Corsair to see everything, so that then Hero switches back into mass speed of Scourge. And Rain got through all that. He got through all of that, went into late game, post Hive being finished. That is a little bit Zerg favored when the Hive's done. Pretty tough in the late game for Protoss to survive that, but he just kind of stayed strong, stayed mobile on the map, got his storms out, slowly and patiently got that Reaver tech out, and managed to win. So for map 3, our final game of the group and our final game of the night, it's going to be knockout.
All right. Knockout it is. Will a Zerg or a Protoss player advance here? Oh, man. I'm excited, Tasteless. Who do you think? Who has it?
I don't know. I'm rooting for Rain here. But, we've got a lot of Protosses that have gone through, so maybe I should be rooting for Hero.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean... there were so few Protosses. The round of 24, I was really starving for some Protoss games now that I'm back to laddering and streaming again. But I don't know. I mean, these guys are both great. If you gave me like $100 and I had to bet on one, I think I would bet on Hero. I've just casted him too many times, always winning everything.
Yeah. It's I feel like I go towards him too. Is there, like, balance-wise, what do you think about Knockout? Does it favor one over the other? It feels to me like it's a little bit better for Zerg, but I'm not sure.
I think it's fine. I don't know that one is stronger than the other on this map. One thing I like about this map is, okay, let me zoom out here a second and talk about the maps in general. Polypoid, I'm kind of fed up with PvZ because I feel like every base is safe to take for Zerg. Like, it's so, like, there's like almost nowhere to push. Like, some bases, I should be able to focus on because they're safer to have than others, right? This map, I feel like some bases are harder to defend for Zerg than others. You have like a high ground one, but it's not crazy.
Yeah.
The 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock bases are safe, but like 6 o'clock's pushable. I think this is fine, PvZ.
Okay.
It is a map where you can cannon rush on. For whatever reason, all the space tile set maps now you can cannon rush on.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Where a lot of the jungle ones you can't, or you can, but it's like rare exceptions. So for whatever reason, when I'm laddering now, I'm like, oh, it's a space map. I'll go make Forge. They're like, oh, it's a jungle tile set. We're going to gateway expand. That's not normally how I think about maps, but that's how we've ended up.
Dude, that's funny. That's like your favorite color. It's because the map is this color. I'm going to do this build.
I do this strategy when the map is gray.
Very, very simple outlook there.
Yeah. So, in this game, it was overpool. We have a Forge expand here. And by the way, Rain went for 14 probes here too. So maybe there's been a deviation in the build orders now. Maybe now what they do is they go up to 15 and make the Nexus, or maybe I was just doing it wrong. I don't know. We've seen some small alterations. In this spot, if you're both on the right, the rush distance is crazy close. By the way,
Yeah.
you can almost make a straight line to their base.
It is definitely very, very close in these spawns. But, you know, he's got his cannon up. I don't think there's going to be any issue. It looks like Hero's not even pushing as hard as he can towards the base. He knows it's going to finish before he can get there. It's Overlord, of course, giving him vision of that. And he's going to take that third hatchery now, just before his gas is finishing.
So, you know, both these distances can be tempting to do some kind of a timing attack from. You're just very close. Hydra rushes are obviously the first thing that comes to mind. The Zerg does basically to choose to attack before the Protoss does. You know, in StarCraft, there's an asymmetry in all the matchups, which is what makes it interesting. You know, the way the races operate and build structures, and you know how their tech develops and everything. But that means that there are always situations where one race can attack the other first, and so you have to deal with that. And so, no surprises, it's a Hydra Den.
Okay. Is this how we're going to end up deciding is another 3H Hydra Rush?
So I wanted to go kind of big picture for a second here. We basically always see Stargate openings, but there are openings that are not Stargate openings that make it that are quite strong against Hydra Den. I mean, you can go for a Citadel and just start to make you cut probes like you know, get like 4 gateways or something. 3 or 4 gates, cut probes, and then you make speed lots, and you just like kind of kill all their Hydras. It's like a pretty crazy way to play.
Yeah.
And it's a really tough game for the Zerg. The problem is that if they go for Spire Tech, and eventually Tech and Immutas, you have a lot of more of a difficult game.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you know, we're going to see, first of all, Hero just never lets the probe in. I can't think of a game where he's been scouted. And wow, Rain goes back with the Zealot. Would you look at that? Why is he sending the Zealot home?
I think he's sniffing out what's happening.
Wait, did he get Ling Speed again?
Yeah.
Hold on, I need to understand this.
Yes, Ling Speed.
Okay.
I think he's sniffing out exactly what's going on here. That Ling Speed was about to finish, and I don't know. Is he going to know that this is actually a 3H Hydra build coming, though? No cannons as of yet?
Yeah. So, you know, I mentioned this earlier, but I'll just say it again. It's a long cast. In the guides that I read, a lot of times you look for a Ling Speed, and that basically confirms that it's not a Hydra bust.
Yeah.
A lot of the Hydra busts, almost all of them on ladder, are slow Lings. So you can basically check for like Ling Speed, and once you see it, you just run back, right? But it seems like what... Oh my god, he's going to run to the main. So what he's doing is he goes for Ling Speed and just gets later Hydras, and the chances are that you just like tech past what you need. You don't have the defenses. So the Corsairs are going to come down now. He's even hitting the cybernetic score, by the way, like as if he was afraid of the air weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. So Rain sees what's happening. By the way, this messes up my practice because now I have to really account for... Oh, what?
Bad rally. One free Hydralisk there.
Yeah. One is a lot. One is a lot when you're talking about getting into the round of 8.
Yeah.
You know, one Hydra can completely change the game. Rain's control's been pretty good. There's been some kills over here. I think, did he just ditch the Hydra attack?
I don't know. He's not sending any more
hatch
up. Like, maybe he feels like this isn't going to work anymore. But he got enough value with the Lings that I think he's fine. You know? Like, he got up there, he killed some probes, he caused lost mining time, he has forced a few extra cannons, but Rain is not overdoing it on the cannon defense either. Who's ahead after that?
Yeah, so... I think Hero's okay. I mean, you know, it's a confusing game for Rain. He's getting a 5th cannon, and there's no Hydras coming across the map. You know, one thing about playing against Hero is he's so good at hiding the Hydras. I think that Rain was almost in disbelief. We saw he canceled the 5th cannon, by the way.
Yeah.
Crazy game here. Okay, so He's going to go for the entrance. This is, you know, not the modern Wallen where the Forge is like scooted back. But he's got Zealot speed, so it doesn't matter. Of course, he's just going to come out here and chase the Hydras away. So he keeps the Forge alive. So all the pieces for a healthy mid game into late game are here for Rain.
Yeah, looking pretty good for him. I like that he has this speed upgrade already done. Able to get out there, let his +1 finish. He did start a second Forge, maybe thinking he might lose that, but maybe he just wants to get 2 upgrades at once. And look at this, coming into the natural. Not many Hydras here, Tasteless.
Yeah, I mean, Hero might have like cut it a little bit too short. This is one of the funny things. This is why you send units out. Sometimes when I try to teach friends how to play, they're like, "But why would I even send this out? Don't we know he has this?" I'm like, "Well, he might not."
Yeah.
Even in pro games, you can see like what Hero's doing is it's like, he's like, those Dr. Robotnik fights in Sonic where it's like now Egghead gets into a different machine.
Yeah.
Like every time, like, he thinks he's doing this. Oh, Egghead's got like a new final boss form. And so that's what he's doing. So then he's went hard into attack. And now look at this, man. 5 Zealots deny a hatchery. That's not supposed to be happening, but that's how crazy this game has been. A DT is going to try to come through here and immediately shuts this down.
Okay, very quick reaction there from Hero. That's good to see. Because if a DT just slips in, that's a pretty bad way to get eliminated from the tournament.
Yeah. Well, there's never an Overlord in the main at this phase of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always have them all out here. He's going to just get a cancel on this again.
Oh, my God.
Can he kill this?
Yeah, he can.
Yeah, look at this. Oh, what?
And he gets a kill. It's not a cancel. Oh, my God. That's so painful. And look at this. Now suddenly Muta's coming out of nowhere. But no, there's plenty of defense there against the Mutas. I don't think he's going to really get anything done with these.
No, I think he's fine. I think he's okay. He's got to be careful. Don't lose the Corsairs to the Scourge. Oh, my God. Okay, nice moving shot. He gets this to safety. He did not morph an Archon, by the way. I guess he wouldn't want to if it's Hydras into Mutas, because if it's Mutas into Hydras, yeah, you would get the Archon there. So, Hero's in a very weird game here. By the way, I just can't believe how many tech switches we're seeing. This is such a harder game to cast than a normal PvZ.
Yeah, it's wild. There's so many little mind games going on. It just doesn't look standard at all. They're just so back and forth. It feels like neither of them have what they should.
If Rain kills him at the very end of the game, Hero's going to show all of his different forms from the whole series, like he's the T-1000 inside that like molten lava. It's just all the different build orders and styles are going to come out in one final death rattle. Oh my God. Okay, the Scourge are close. He can flick shot it. He does.
Yeah, the Muta's going to have a very hard time against these Corsairs. A couple Hydras coming up to help as well. Corsairs continuing to rotate around, looking for some more Overlord kills. Little group of Speed Zealots going down to the bottom. Hydras are chasing them, so not sure if they're going to get as much done as he had before.
Yeah, he chased him away. Dude, is this going to go down again?
No way. He's going to try to
You gotta
glitch
be
it with
careful,
the drones.
by the way. I think he is going to get this.
No, I think just barely not.
I was going to say, you got to be careful in moments like this, because when you just throw units away to damage a building, like, you're not trading at all.
Yeah, it's bad.
So that could be very bad for Rain. I mean, what was that? Like 8 Zealots or something?
Yeah.
Imagine that was just with the army now. I mean, this would be a much better game for him. So Rain's going to try to move out. This is like straight up Hydra Muta. We've talked about this a lot today, and we're going to get it. Oh, my God.
Doesn't even get a storm off. Oh, gosh.
Oh, dude. Is Hero going to win this?
Yeah, not looking good here for Rain.
Yeah,
sorry,
and he's down to
Tasteless.
3 Corsairs.
Oof.
The problem is that when the Corsair count gets low, you just don't kill the Mutas fast enough. And honestly, when you think there's Mutas, you need to go up to, like, I think more than 5. I think you want to have like 8 or even 9. If they continue to make Mutas and Scourge, you go up to 11, I think. But now Hero, in this crazy back and forth game, has basically like zoned himself into a pretty safe spot. Zerg has the opportunity to attack and try to end the game. I think you have to do it if you're going Hydra Muta. I don't think you just like stay back.
Yeah, for sure.
This is like a fighting composition. This is not like Lurkers where it's like, well, you could contain or you could, you know, turtle or, you know, do whatever.
Yeah. Lurkers are part of ZVP endgame. You know, like super late game, no matter what, like Lurkers are a big part of that. Whereas Hydras and Mutas are basically the units that aren't. Like sometimes you make them late game, but it's not really what you're looking for.
Yeah. Oh my God, here we go again.
Wow, he even hit the Dragoon there to kill both of them with the glaives. That was crazy. But look at this. Attacking up now. No Psystorms anywhere. He's still looking for those Psystorms with the Mutas. Drags the Corsairs over those Hydralisks. Rain is taking an engagement from high ground with the Dragoons on the left-hand side, so he's actually doing way better. If that was on flat ground, he already would have lost that battle. But he's actually holding a lot longer than otherwise. And GG is called, and that means that Hero will be moving on to the round of 8.
I got to say, Hero's the better player. He is so smart in how he bobs and weaves in the tech. Like, it's almost like the scouting does nothing for you.
Yeah.
He switched up so many times. Beautiful play there. I think it was subtle, but I think a couple too many Corsairs were killed off. The count was not high enough to cover the Templars. And because of that, you can't get the third base up. I also think Rain made a really regrettable decision to try to dive on that hatchery. I think even if he kills the hatchery with the Zealots, it doesn't really matter. 8 Zealots would have been very helpful against those Hydras.
Very much. Right? Yeah, it might have changed the course of that battle.
Yeah, it was almost a win more move here. So how many Corsairs did he have back here? Because I know he had more in the game overall. I don't even remember if he actually saw this. It seems like he had stopped making Corsairs in the game. And I think whenever you have one of these Hydra games, you've got to just either start to make the Corsairs or make the Dark Archon, right? You can't have one or the other. The Corsairs are not next to the Templars here. The Templars are kind of bumping around back here. And this is 2 gone.
Wow, just such a great execution there.
Yeah, and that's 4 Psystorms, man.
Yep.
And I mean, you can see that the Mutas are looking for more Templars. There's not even any over here.
Well, nothing much you can do from there with no
handy.
Storm.
Yeah. But, you know, I do believe when you see a game of early Hydras, I think you have to. I think you get a Dark Archon. Anyways, interview time.
ASL Season 21 16강
We've just wrapped up Group B of the round of 16 here at ASL Season 21, as we have our second player through to the round of 8 today. Let's meet Hero. Congratulations on advancing. Thank you. Those were not easy games, but in the end, Hero, as you stay focused and on target, you make your way back into the round of 8 after 3 seasons. How are you feeling? I thought I would get to go home early today after just 2 matches, but I suddenly slipped up. It gave me such a headache. But luck was on my side at the very end, as I was able to advance. Just as you said yourself, in the 2 preceding games, you went for an overpull into quick Hydra opening to try and finish early. It looked like you had a smooth, light idea of how to play, but then after scoring a win in the first set, in the second set of the winners match against Snow, you got caught by Dark Templar as Snow reversed the game, causing you to lose. What was your mentality like then? Honestly, I thought it was a winnable game. When the Corsairs showed up, I knew I gotta push back so he doesn't get to harass me. I was holding on, holding out the harassment. I think the issue was my follow-up was too weak, and I got stopped. My opponent just played well. In the end, those Dark Templar by Snow were the cure you needed, because in the first set of the decider match against Rain, you did not get shaken by the 3 Zealot and 2 Dark Templar as you scored a victory. You once again won the first set and then let your opponent tie the score up. I bet you must have been reliving the nightmare of just getting reverse swept by Snow. That's my trademark from back in the day. I always go to the rubber match
좀 진짜 고생.
It seems like I can never get an easy win. I always struggle to advance. Today seems to have been just that as well.
1경기 이기면은 알게 모르게 마음이 좀 편해.
I don't know what it is about winning the first game. Maybe I just get too relaxed that I always end up losing the second. This is something I'll have to work on. So, after losing that second set, you found yourself on a crossroads. Do I go to the round of 8? Do I get eliminated? It was time for the third set. And up until the mid-game, the game was very similar to the second set. However, your muter micro felt different. What was it like for you?
좀 많이 불리하다고 생각을 했는데.
To be frank, I also thought I was at a big disadvantage in the third set.
갑자기 이겼더라고요.
And then all of a sudden, I just won.
진짜 마지막 러시였는데.
That muter hydro was my last attack.
왜 됐지? 약간 그런
I
생각도 좀
don't really know why it worked.
저글링으로 좀 피해를 줘서 그런가.
Maybe because I first managed to get some damage done with Lynx.
게임 끝나고 좀 신기했던
I too was surprised when the game ended. Brain kept forcing you to micro in two places at once. It felt to me like you were playing as if caught in a trance. You did not lose focus until the end, and ultimately, it is you, Hero, who claims victory and moves on to the quarterfinals. It's been quite a while for you. I bet you'll be thinking to yourself, this won't be easy. But you always used to make the round of 8. It's really tough advancing to the round of 8. I felt that once again today. But last time my run ended very early in the round of 24. I think I upped my game a bit today in the round of 16. I'll show you a good performance in the quarterfinals as well. All that is written on your face right now is a thirst for victory, is what I'm getting as you advance. Makes me ever so excited to see what you show in the quarterfinals. I'm sure many fans gathered here will feel the same. Why don't you close things out by addressing the fans and the colleagues who helped you? First of all, I would like to thank my former students and the members of Newcastle. And I only practiced versus Protoss. I played with Mini, Motive, and Abisu. Thank you guys so much. Things are not easy this season, but I'll prepare well and make sure to win in the round of 8 too. Congratulations on advancing to the quarterfinals, Hero. Thanks for the interview. Thank you. We've just heard from Hero, our second player moving on to the round of 8 today. Let's throw it back to the commentators for a quick recap.
All right, guys, this was a fun day.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with these results. I think Snow and Hero did play much better. It's sad to see Rain go out. Oregon had a rough run, but, what are you going to do, man? This is a fight to get to the round of 8. Only the strong survive, Artosis.
Yeah, the very strongest. And already that next round looking amazing, but still with an upset. Tolbo getting through. Maybe the beginning of the reign of Tolbo. I hope so. But our next group, guys, is going to be the best group ever in the history of StarCraft. Look at this group. Bisu, Jaedong Flash, and poor little Ample, who has more of a chance than people are giving him credit for, but the three biggest legends ever will be duking it out.
This is going to be one of the most watched StarCraft games, or the days, I should say, broadcasts, in a long time.
Yeah, I'd say so.
These guys all draw a huge crowd. Bisu, Jaedong, and Flash, they're kind of from what a lot of people say is the golden age, kind of the 2007, 2008 years of StarCraft. All these guys are in great shape. Can Flash move on? I think he's got a very good shot. We're all kind of waiting to see, is he going to win another ASL? He probably will, but he hasn't done it yet. Can't say he's going to do it until it's actually happened. And, let's see what Ample can do. Bisu and Jaedong, obviously, I wish all three of them could move on. No disrespect, Ample, but
yeah.
It's going to be a great day of games.
I wish Ample could move on too, man. I think we should just have a round of 10 coming up, but it is what it is.
Guys, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for joining us. And join us on the Patreon, patreon.com/ASL English. Guys, Artosis, any closing thoughts?
No, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in Group C.